20, Johnny Miller. Now, Greg, I had the privilege to race with Alan Downey all winter long. He raced in our Rivals Racing iRacing division, and that is his only experience before getting behind the wheel of this crate sprint car. But a really likable young man, did a great job iRacing. In fact, I spoke with him in the pits. He said it was so cool because Jesse Costa came over to introduce himself. Ryan Beagle came over to introduce himself. People that had raced with him on iRacing all winter long. He was quite impressed that they came over to have a chat.
How do you think his stomach is right now?
It's probably in knots. That tends to go away as soon as the green flag drops, but right now will be about the most tense moments there are as we anticipate the green flag for heat race number 2.
Kyle McKenzie unfurls the green flag, and we are underway with Blaine Barrow and Trevor Young going down into corner number 1 side by side. Jesse McDonald right there in the 3rd spot. Good to see Jesse back behind the wheel of one of these crate sprint cars.
And a lot of Glenn Steyer's fleet this year is going to be black and blue. Enri and the sponsor on those race cars. Jesse McDonald driving one of them as Trevor Young has a moment coming off of turn number 4. Blaine Barrow had to take evasive action. That is bunched up the top 4. Stephen Beckett closes in.
Off of quarter number 4, they'll work across the stripe with Trevor Young out in front. Has one feature win here at the Speedway. It came in the mini stock division, and he is out there in the Hallett Home Improvements number 51 machine, flexing some muscle, leading this second qualifying heat.
John Verney just got a great run on a turn number 2. A lot of speed from that 26 machine. Of course, teammates with Terry Baker. They have 2 team cars. They look identical. One runs 26X. The other runs 26.
Cross flags coming out for Trevor Young in the 51. He'll lead the lap with Blaine Barrow back there in the 2nd spot. Jesse McDonald, Stephen Beckett, and John Vernier top 5. Brad Herron knocking on the door for the 5th spot as they're side by side down the backstretch.
Look at Johnny Miller in that 20. He is almost within striking distance of Brad Herron. If he can string together a couple of good laps, he could close in. I'm a little bit surprised with Hannah Farrell in that 4 machine, just not finding the speed out of that race car right now.
Johnny Miller's got a ton of laps here at Ohsweken Speedway, but they're all over on the warm-up track in the micro sprint division, and he is flexing some of his muscle right now and showing some confidence in himself, running steadily in that 20 machine.
How about Trevor Young and that Hallett Home Improvement sponsored number 51? Great to see sponsorship on that race car. White flag in the air for Trevor Young. He's looking to bring home this heat race win as Jesse McDonald runs in the 2nd spot.
Stephen Beckett has worked his way into the 3rd position, rather in the 4th position in that 08 machine, one of those drivers that came on strong at the end of last year. Checkers out. Trevor Young will pick up the win over Jesse McDonald. Blaine Barrow 3rd, then it'll be Stephen Beckett. John Verney 5th, Brad Herron 6th. That's Johnny Miller, Hannah Farrell, and Alan Downey completing the running order in the 2nd qualifying heat for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. There's your winner, Trevor Young, in the Hallett Home Improvement number 51.
Even Alan Downey in his maiden voyage out there, nice job finishing on the lead lap. Everyone that started that heat finished on the lead lap. It got a little bit strung out, but a good, clean race. That's what we like to see.
Got a bit of a lost and found starting up here. We have a Toronto Blue Jays hat up here in the announce tower. If you're missing your Blue Jays cap.
I miss my Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar, Jose Bautista.
I don't think I could name more than 3 of them now.
Heat race number 3 about to roll out of the chute. On the pole out of Beamsville in the 1A, it's Paul Klager. Outside row number 1 from Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis. Row 2 on the inside, great to see this driver back from St. Thomas. Driver the number 52, Jesse Costa. Alongside him from Hagersville, the 49H is Jerry Hill. Car number 29 out of Binbrook, it's Liam Martin. Alongside him from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. Starting 7th, car number 38 out of Ashweek, and it's Derek Miller. And rounding out the field from Mount Bridges, number 45, Nick Sheridan.
Third of 4 qualifying heats for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division.
Oh, the other thing we need to mention, and we're going to talk about this a lot tonight, folks, next Friday night, it is $30 carload night. Pack as many of your friends as you can in your car. $30 is going to get you into the grandstand.
Maximum 6 people, though.
Come on.
I didn't write the release. Don't look at me.
I want to hear circus music playing as the Bears climb out.
Yes, $30 carload night for our first MAV TV Canada event next Friday night. Green flag is out, and Paul Klager will lead them down into corner number 1. Jesse Costa hot on his heels. Here comes Jerry Hill around the outside.
Field strings out single file down into 3. Jesse Costa working the inside. That opens the outside up for Hill in the 28.
Nick Sheridan back there in the 45 thought about making it 3 wide. He'll slip by Jesse Costa, who has a problem down in corner number 1. But there's the youngster, Nick Sheridan. Got a chance to interview him before the season started, and he was pretty excited, pretty confident.
The Sheridan family and microphones go well together. Oh, car number 43, I don't think we introduced him. Darren Dryden in the 43.
Of course, that is the Dernan Motorsports car number 43 that Ryan Huntsinger formerly drove. And Darren Dryden will loop it around. And will bring out the caution here in heat race number 3. So we gave him the announcer's curse as we were just talking about Darren Dryden. He loops it around down in corner number 4 in the DJD Graphics. Car number 43, Can-Am Midgets champion from 1 year ago.
Clint and Jeffrey going to direct some traffic. What's going on down there, Clint?
Simple spin out for the rookie here, Darren Dryden, one of the best artists when it comes to designing these race cars, made a career of coloring them with Sharpies. Famous for his Sharpie art. Want to welcome him here to Ashweek and Speed, which you mentioned, part of the Dernan team. Gorgeous machine. No damage down here, guys, just an easy around it. For these guys who are new to dirt tonight, we have given them a polished dance floor that is going to be very hard to get your steps in proper this evening.
White flag is out. That's how much confidence we have in our safety crew and our push vehicles. Darren Dryden still being pushed off there in turn number 4, but the white flag being displayed, we're going to let them loose. Out of turn 4, the Schneider Electric 1A of Paul Klager going to lead the way back to the green, and we're missing the 24A of AJ Lewis. He had mechanical problems at Merrittville last week as well, and if I'm not mistaken, they had a lot of problems last season too with that race car.
Same deal, Adam. He was here Wednesday. They had some issues. Not sure what the deal is.
Green flag back out on the field as Paul Klager will want. Paul Klager, it seems like we've said this about a number of drivers tonight, drivers that came on strong at the end of last year. Well, Paul Klager was one of those. Ended up with a top 3 finish through the Action Sprint Tour and was really strong in that crate sprint. And here he is once again out in front in that 1A machine as he sails off of corner 4 to the white flag.
He also had, for my money, the most spectacular flip of 2018. That fuel cell launched about 50 feet in the air in that scary wreck between 3 and 4.
Checkers out. Paul Klager will pick up the heat race win. Off the corner, Jerry Hill will come home in second over Liam Martin. And then it's Jesse Costa, 4th, followed by Jordan Hill in the 5th spot. 6th will be Derek Miller. And then it's Darren Dryden in the 43, and the 45 of Nick Sheridan will go to tonight's B main.
One more heat of crate sprints. Heat race number 4 still to roll out. Oh, and we had this wrong. We were calling 6 cars straight to the A, but they can't take 6 cars to the A if there's 4 heats.
I knew I shouldn't have counted on you.
Well, normally we have printouts, right? Everything was going to be computerized. We got screens coming out the wazoo. The MAV TV crew is here, so get on your A game, Greg, for crying out loud. Heat race number 4. Brian Nanakoke out of Ashwegan in car number 9C going to roll off on the pole outside of row number 1. From Niagara Falls, car number 70 is Bailey Hurd. Row 2 on the inside from Ancaster, the 26X is Terry Baker, and alongside him from Port Colborne, car number 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Starting 5th in the 69 from Ashwegan, it's Joshua Hill, and outside of him from Hamilton, the 56 is Derek Lemaire. Starting 7th from Woodstock in the 29W, it's Tyler Ward, and rounding out the field from Scotland, Ontario, number 83 is Spencer Davis. Field information as the white flag flies.
Talked about Johnny Miller in the last qualifying heat moving up from the micro sprint division. Spencer Davis, another one of those drivers that has many a laps over there on the small track off of corner number 3. See what he can do in the 83 machine. And
I'll put you on the spot a little bit too. Do you know where Tyler Ward came from?
I do not.
Neither do I. Nice looking car though.
Perfect. The Crow. Brian Nanakoke will lead us down into corner number 1 in the 9C machine, the Canada Fuels car, with Bailey Hurd in tow in that second spot. Yellow flag out for a spin for Tyler Ward down at corner number 4. So we'll go under the caution flag here in the 4th and final qualifying heat for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division.
One of the problems with getting a slow start, and Tyler Ward was hanging back a little bit, is the temptation to get on the throttle too hard. Oh, I'm so glad Darren Shawcross is back up here in the tower, handing convenient notes with totally relevant information. Not really repeatable, though. When we see a replay of Ward spinning out, he did make contact with that last cinder block, but again, looks like he squared it up pretty well. Probably going to cost him a front bumper, but that's not the end of the world.
It's a learning experience for sure. The first time coming to the green flag, and that happens.
So I believe for next week, Greg, we're going to be sitting up quite a bit higher, and that's going to be a good thing because my legs have fallen asleep from about my tailbone down. Like, I don't think I could stand up right now if I wanted to.
I'd like to see that, actually.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted to try. You ever get like that when you?
See, mine's reverse. My legs go numb when I stand.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say you go numb from the waist up, and I was like, that would be a little alarming to me. I've never experienced that.
I go numb from the neck up every Friday night working with you.
That's dumb, not numb.
It's good to be back, Adam.
It's contagious, isn't it?
I actually had a driver ask me at the banquet last year if we didn't like each other.
I can't stand you. No, I like you very much, and that's why I'm so cynical and mean. I can't be like that to Clint anymore because he just got too much anger in him.
See, now I feel bad because I wouldn't have said very if I was talking about how much I liked you.
Oh, well, it's opening night. Things change.
All right, lights are out. We're ready to go back to the green flag here with Nanakoke and Hurd on the front row. Baker and Dykstra back there in row number 2.
Since it's a complete restart, we're actually not going back to green. We're just going green.
True. Well, we saw a little glimpse of green.
Didn't happen. Complete restart. You'd undo it.
Green flag is out. Brian Nanakoke will lead the pack down into corner number 1 with Hurd on the outside line. He'll wash up in front of him with Nanakoke leading them down the backstretch.
Similar looking start there where Nanakoke got the lead and slid up the track, and wow, Bailey Hurd's car just would not turn. They're heading down into turn 3. Not sure what might be amiss on that race car, that everything seems to be pointed in the right direction.
We'll be headed to the pit area with Brian Anacoke, your leader. Now Jacob Dykstra will slot into the second spot. Terry Baker back there in third as they work it off of corner number 4, completing lap 2.
Derek Lemaire working the back end of Terry Baker. Those are 2 race car drivers that have raced in many different kinds of race cars. And motorcycles, if you count. We got yellow flag on the racetrack. "24 seasons is how long we have been. Oh yeah, we got one slid up to the outside in turn 4. We have been here for 24 seasons, and I can honestly say on the racetrack I don't remember ever seeing a moped, and I think we're seeing exactly why right now. It just doesn't look like the right combination with, like, the wheels are 4 inches tall and the mud is 8 inches tall in the infield. Do the math.
Get a glimpse of the replay here of Tyler Ward going up and around in corner 4.
There again, I think if Tyler Ward watches that replay on the live stream, he's going to realize, lock it down, hold the brakes down, because by letting it roll up, he almost tipped that thing over onto its side, and I think that would have been an awkward moment for him.
Well, guys, he says he's got some issues in the car. They're going to push it back to the pit area. That'll be the end of Ward here in this qualifying heat race.
Pretty race car, though. There we go, a nice close-up of the moped.
What's it say on the side?
I hope it says something like, "My other ride is a BMW," like something cool like that. Although we should say, "My other ride is a Chevrolet from Strickland's GMC in Brantford," where you can get all of your automotive needs met by the good folks at Strickland's. Have you seen the Pace truck?
Oh, it looks beautiful this year.
Nice looking truck.
Nice job by Steve Lyons and Creative Edge getting that truck ready to go. And we're back to the green flag. That was an interesting restart for Brian Anacoke.
Well, Brian Anacoke did his thing, which is his right to do. Jacob Dykstra went a little bit outside the box there by running a vastly different line right now. Does not look like it really paid off for him.
Bailey Hurd back on the track in the 70 machine, so obviously whatever was wrong has fixed itself, or the crew has got that repaired. Well, he went into the pit area, so good to see Bailey Hurd back. And now Brian Anacoke right out there on the edge, and he's opening the door for Jacob Dykstra at the cross flags.
Jacob Dykstra with a new sponsor on that car, Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker. On his fire suit, on the crew shirts. I'm sure it's going to be on the race car probably by feature time.
Anacoke holding on to the lead, but here comes Dykstra, multi-time winner in 2018. Oh, came close down at corner number 2. Gave Anacoke the room.
Anacoke doing a nice job, holding a great line out there in that 9C Canada Fuels car. Jacob Dykstra all over the back end, and really give the advantage here to Jacob Dykstra, because he can use any line on the racetrack he wants. Brian Anacoke hasn't seen where anybody else is running, but having said that, where he's been running has been fairly successful up to this point.
And that time it didn't pay off, as Jacob Dykstra will take the lead at the stripe with 1 lap left to go. So Jacob Dykstra cruises down the backstretch trying to grab the victory away from Brian Anacoke.
And he'll do so, taking the checkered flag. Anacoke going to cruise home second. Derek Lemaire finishing third. Hill in fourth, and fifth to Spencer Davis, just ahead of Terry Baker.
So Jacob Dykstra will win the 4th and final qualifying heat for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. They're in the Coldwell Banker number 5D. HRW Automotive Mini Stocks about to make their way out onto the speedway with their first qualifying heat of the evening. Starting on the pole in heat race number 1 out of Hagersville, Dusty DeBoer in the 23 machine. On his outside out of Brantford in the 6R, it's Tom Cole, Lightning Tom Cole. Starting in position number 3 out of Ancaster, the 16 car, that is Fabio Oliveri. And on his outside, Cheeseburg. Number 15, Sean Iftati will go from 4th. Starting in fifth out of Oshweek in the 188, that'll be Paul Longboat. And to his outside, this man trained hard. He showed us the video to prove it out of Caledonia, the 265. The ageless one, Mike Evers, will start in sixth, going from seventh out of Simcoe. The 88, that'll be Aidan Nye. Going from eighth out of Stratford, the 54, that is Christopher French. Starting in ninth out of Brantford, the 79 is Steve Miller. And going from the 10th and final starting spot from Hamilton, the 93, Andy Reichman.
I like the numbers on Reichman's number 93. That's a cool looking ski.
Reichman's always come to the track well prepared. Another nice looking car. I really like Sean Iftati's car this year as well.
Bit of a ragged looking lineup right now. Oh, looks like we're doing some track packing. Doug Leonard, the race director, giving instruction over the one-way radio where he wants these drivers to run, help them break in the racetrack.
Now, we talked about it already at the start of the season. I believe it was the original Test and Tune night. You and I had a chance to interview a lot of these drivers, and we'll get to see some of that footage throughout the season on the live stream and on MAV TV Canada. But a lot of the interviews were fantastic. I really enjoyed. I did the rapid fire questions with Sean Iftati, and he was a lot of fun. I believe you got to do the sit-down interview with him.
Yeah, yep. And it is great. I was in the back doing some roster stuff tonight, wanting to meet the drivers, get their hometowns, get their sponsors. There's a lot of them, Greg, I don't recognize because I never get to see them.
Kyle McKenzie ready to start the HRW Automotive Mini Stock season here in their first qualifying heat of the season. Tom Cole and Dusty DeBoer lead them down into corner number one, but here comes Sean Iftati on the outside line. We'll go to second. Now we'll challenge for the lead off of two.
Iftati with a great start and lightning Tom Cole is sort of dropping towards the tail end of the field. Everybody taking evasive action. Out in front of him is Cheeseburger going to lead the lap.
Iftati, your leader, over DeBoer, and Fabio Oliveri, another nice looking machine in that Kubota number 16. He's there in third. Here comes Longboat to his inside.
Longboat with a good head of steam through the corner, and he's pulling down the straightaway pretty well, pretty fast as well. He'll take that spot over Fabio Oliveri. And Oliveri is under threat here from Aidan Nye in the 88 as well, and Christopher French in the 54.
It's Iftati and DeBoer, 1 and 2, with Longboat now third. Oliveri back to the fourth spot, side by side for position 5. That's Christopher French and Aidan Nye going at it as we will see the cross flags, this time by from Kyle McKenzie.
Halfway through the 6-lap qualifying heat, we've got 4 mini stock heats tonight, each of them 6 laps in distance. You know, this really is an indicator of how far the mini stock competition has come. There were years where the 79 of Steve Miller and the 265 of Mike Evers would have been battling for the lead in features, and they're struggling a little bit right now deep in the field. We saw Mike Giverson do the same thing over the years.
Things have really progressed here in this 4-cylinder stock car division.
So we thought Iftati was going to drive away with this heat when he got around the field, but DeBoer not letting him get too far out in front. The top two have pulled half a straightaway over Longboat, but that's still a great battle on this white flag lap for the win.
Here they go for the top spot. Iftati's got it, running a lane higher than DeBoer. DeBoer looks down low in corner number 3. He's going to show the nose down to the inside line. It'll be a drag race down across the stripe to the checkered flag. Who's going to get it?
Iftati bobbled just a little bit between 3 and 4. That's going to allow DeBoer the victory by 3/100ths of a second. What a race that was in HRW Automotive Mini Stock Heat number 1. Heat 2 about to roll out. Car number 46 is going to start from the pole position out of Waterford. It's Wade Thorne. Alongside him out of Caledonia in the 365, it's Kevin Thorne. Car number 26 is Tim Newell. Alongside of him will be the pinball, Mike Giverson. Starting 5th out of Bellwood, the number 22 is Kyle Haynes. Starting 6th from Niagara Falls, the 19T is Trevor Want. From Thorold, driving the number 96, Tyler LaFantasi. Alongside him from Hamilton in the 96C, Brian Crosgrove. Car number 60 is Martin Schroeder, and rounding out this qualifying heat from Linden, the 11E, is Jeff Elsliger. That's the lineup for heat race number 2. They look to be in formation. I believe we'll see them coming towards. Maybe that's a white flag in Kyle's hand. I thought we might see them come to green, but it looks like we're going to give them one more lap. Nice looking crowd here, folks. We're thrilled you could come out and join us for our adjusted opening night here in 2019. Mother Nature was not friendly to the track crew here. We were greatly delayed getting on the track to get any work done, but good looking track conditions for us tonight.
A lot of water in the parking areas and the pits as well in the last few weeks, so good to see that it's all dried up and we were able to get the race in tonight. Mother Nature has not liked the 2019 racing season in Ontario so far.
I was talking to Ken Leslie last week at Merrittville, Adam Leslie's dad, sportsman racer. What did he tell me? Either 7 or 9 races they have lost off their schedule already this year due to rainouts.
Pack racing through 3 and 4 with Kevin Thorne out in front, that Burger Barn, number 360. Wade Thorne back in the second spot.
Running in third as I bring up my timing and scoring. Looks to be Kyle Haynes in the 22.
See Kyle up here, and I believe he plans to run the entire season. Has been a regular down at the Merrittville Speedway for a number of years and down at Humberstone. But Kyle here at the Big O, running right now in that third position.
Well, he's listed from Bellwood, Ontario, which is up northeast of Guelph, if I'm not mistaken.
Cross flags in the air for Kevin Thorne. Out in front over Wade Thorne. Here comes Haynes on the back bumper of that number 46 as they work down the backstretch, trying to get a run. Going into corner number 3.
Tyler LaFantasi, that's a good-looking race car. That white-black with fluorescent yellow numbers working down the front straightaway.
Thorne in control. In fact, the Thorns are in control. 1 and 2 spots right now. Haynes has backed off a little bit in that challenge for the runner-up position. LaFantasi closing the gap on the top 3, but time running out as the white flag is now out.
Yeah, just one more lap to go in this qualifying heat. Mike Guybers, we talked about him in that last heat race, drifts back towards the tail end of the field. His performance isn't what it once was, but his attendance is still spot on.
Checkers out. Kevin Thorne will pick up the win over Wade Thorne. Kyle Haynes back there in the third spot. Tyler LaFantasi fourth at the line. 5th spot. Whoa! Martin Schroeder will go around and goes into the wall as he was battling Matt Newell across the stripe. Schroeder will get the car going again. And I believe he'll be credited with the 5th spot. Heat race number 3 ready to come out onto the speedway. Bobby Tolton in car number 13 will lead the way out of Rockwood, Ontario. John Cote back in car number 38C. Good to see him back here. He'll start in position number 2. Going from the 3rd spot, he had a feature win last year out of York, Ontario. Tim DeBoer in the 9. This guy keeps knocking on the door of Victory Lane. The driver in position number 4, car number 21, Jonathan Ayrton. Will this be the year he gets a win? He'll go from the 4th spot here in his first heat race of the season. Starting in 5th, out of Waterford. In car number 4, it's Mark Thorne. And then the rookie of the year from 1 year ago in the 01 out of Waterdown, it's Tristan De Silva going from the 6th spot. Zach Buckwald behind the wheel of car number 10 tonight out of Simcoe. He'll start 7th, going from 8th out of Brantford. Another one of those wily veterans, the 05 of Dave Goodacre. Starting in 9th, out of Dundas, the 69, Rob Twitchett. And starting in 10th, Nick Massey in the 222 out of Fenwick.
So Zach Buchwald going to be running the whole season this year in the number 10. He bought out his brother's share of that race car, so his goal is just to come out here and improve each and every week. And one way to do that is by getting to drive the car each and every week. Greg, makes a big difference when you get all the seat time.
Yeah, it's really hard to get in a rhythm when you've got to step out and miss a week, and then if there's a rain out, you miss a couple of weeks, and then you've got to try and get back into the groove. And if you're not making any mains either, that makes it extra tough. But you'll have a whole season now to try and get things figured out in that 10 car, which has been racy in the past. So see what Zach can do. Trouble for Rob Twitchett. Well, the caution flag's coming out.
Yeah, I think Doug Leonard did not like the look of that start.
Well, guys, it's going on. The Tolton 13 is going back a row for jumping too early. They talked about it quickly on the radio between Kyle McKenzie and Doug Leonard, and they said, yeah, he was way early. So the 13 of Tolton sent back to the second row.
That all-black car is John Cote, correct, Greg?
That is correct. It's been a number of years since we've seen John here.
Yeah, it's not a name I really recognize, and I was gone for a number of years, but
I've got to see. He's got one bomber win. I just don't know as though he has competed in the mini stocks to get a win yet. But yeah, he does have a bomber win. And was a regular for a stretch in that 38C machine. Here he goes door to door with Tim DeBoer down in corner number 1, and Tim drives him right up the track.
well, I think they might have got hooked together there. Tim DeBoer with a problem. He'll head it straight to the pits. That just did not work out well for John Cote, as he was along for the ride at that point. Puts him all the way to the back of the field with a 0.5 of Dave Goodacre.
So lap number 1 will go to Jonathan Ayrton as they cross the stripe. That number 21 machine, Bobby Tolton, challenging him down on the inside line. Bobby had just an awful time last year at the start of the season. Had a terrible wreck with that car and missed a good chunk of the season. Good to have him back in that 13 machine.
And how about Tristan Da Silva up there in the 01 car? Jibs Action Sports, let's landscape together. A couple of the drivers we talked about earlier, actually, Jonathan Ayrton and Tristan Da Silva. 2 of the 3 cars battling for the lead down the back straightaway.
Ayrton leads, Tolton second, Da Silva third. And it's Mark Thorne back there in the 4 car. And a good battle going between Nick Massey and Rob Twitchett. Looks like he's got another strong car again this year. He really made leaps and bounds 1 year ago in that 69 machine and became one of those drivers that was in contention on a few nights to win a feature. And here he is. Look at the run he's got going down the back stretch.
He actually needed to try to find room to keep that run going. He had to lift, gave a little bit of a push to the 4 machine of Mark Thorne, and it cost him some ground as we've got 2 laps to go.
Jonathan Ayrton leading the way, but here comes the challenge. On the inside, Bobby Tolton draws up alongside, but Ayrton's able to work the momentum on the high side and hold the lead down the backstretch. Da Silva right there in the thick of it with these 3.
1 lap to go. The white flag is out. What a battle among the top 3. And then for 4th, 5th, and 6th, they are right together. Thorne on the inside, Twitchett up high, and Nick Massey looking for racing room. But out in front, 3 cars as Jonathan Ayrton pulls them down the backstretch.
Ayrton leads going into corner number 3, taking that high side. Da Silva just about a half a lane down. Bobby Tolton on the bottom side. Checkers out. How are they going to finish? It's going to be Ayrton, your winner, over Da Silva in second. Tolton in third. Twitchett fourth. 5th was Thorne. 6th, Massey. 7th will be Goodacre. And 8th will be Cote.
And Thorne threw a big old block out of turn number 4 on Nick Massey. One more heat of mini stocks, folks, and here's how the lineup looks. Starting on the pole from Ancaster, car number 19 is Kyle Wirt. On the outside of row number 1 from Guelph, car number 1 is Jason Tolton. Row 2 on the inside out of Smithville, the 6X is Mike Sarantakos. Alongside him from Caledonia, the 517 is Cody Somerville. Cole Hardy drives the 7C from St. Catharines. He's going to start 5th, and starting 6th from Hagersville, the 16J is Jeremy May. Starting 7th out of New Hamburg, the 21H is Ryan Hiller, and starting 8th from Brantford, the number 6 is Jason Dixon. Rounding out the field from Chatham, the 6W is Brent Walker. That's how they line up in this final mini stock heat.
50-50 is at a guaranteed $750 right now. So get those tickets. Sellers going through the stands in the pink T-shirts. $750 the guarantee right now on the 50-50.
You know, Greg, I've missed the beautiful sunsets that we see from the tower here on Friday nights. It's a colorful sight.
I miss sunsets in general. We haven't seen the sun a lot in the last 4 months, but yeah, it's always a beautiful sight off over the pit area.
Dave Steyer's right on cue, getting us the pink sky. I sometimes think Dave Steyer's lives on top of the tower here. You don't often see him come down from there.
No. At the end of the race night, it looks like he's got about three weeks worth of clay and dust. It really accumulates up on the top of the tower, and does a great job there. Has been up there for as long as I've been here and longer.
Oh, yeah.
Green flag is out, and Jason Tolton really got a good start on that one as Kyle Wirt did not really go off the drop of the green, but they are door-to-door through corner 2.
Down the back straightaway, still mostly in formation is this 4th qualifying heat for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks, and they stay that way through 3 and 4. Who's going to lead lap number 1? Oh, no.
Wow.
How did that car stay on its wheels?
Wow. I thought for sure Cole Hardy was going to go up and over, but a break for him. He's obviously very disappointed inside the car, damage on that machine. And you can see the damage to the front of Jason Tolton's number 1.
Clinton Jeffrey making his way over there. And Jason Tolton, it looked like he just got loose in turn 4.
That could have been entirely worse than it was for sure. But I'm sure neither driver right now is too pleased.
Well, guys, certainly not the welcome to Ohsweken Speedway that Cole Hardy wanted. The former Merrittville champion chose to make Ohsweken Speedway his home this year, and his welcome is a tore-up front left on this machine. This Volkswagen 7C, beautifully prepared car with Pleasant View and Rona giving him support to get down here. We'll get Cole Hardy out and have a talk with him and see what his thoughts are. Certainly not going to be happy. Well, Cole Hardy, not the welcome to Ohsweken Speedway you were looking for. They got crossed around in front of you, didn't really have anywhere to go. What's your thoughts?
I don't know, not the way I wanted to start the year off. Hopefully it's not too bad and we can be back here next week. It looks pretty horrible, but as long as Jason's okay.
There you have it. You can see Cole Hardy dejected over here. And Jason Tolton, another driver who had a pretty good season last year, won the Art Hill Memorial. We'll get a look at the nose on his car, and it's all tore up, but looks like he's ready to go and should be able to continue here. Guys, you can see the nose is all tore up on it, but it looks like it's just the hood sheet metal that's ripped up on it.
Yeah, it didn't look, and you could see when he was sitting there, he was talking to the safety crew that was having a look at the race car for him. And Clint, we got 3 different angles of that crash. So if you're looking at the broadcast, Greg got it from turn number 2, Dave got it from the roof, and we got a fantastic shot of it from the speed camera on the front straightaway. So just unbelievable the views we get as we're watching another angle of Tolton just get sideways. Cody Somerville squared him up, and Cole Hardy had nowhere to go. Dejected young man there. Hopefully they'll make repairs, and if there's one thing we know about the crews here at Ohsweken, he'll have lots of people over to his pit area offering to help him out even here tonight.
I'm just impressed by Cody Somerville getting out of that car was really the first point of impact for Jason Tolton, but like you said, Adam, he hit him very square, and not a lot of damage on the 517.
The art of crashing.
But Cody has gone to the pit area, as well as Cole Hardy in the 7C. Always a beautiful looking race car for Cole. So shame to see that all tore up here on night number 1. And Jason Tolton continues on in the 1 machine.
And isn't that the way quite often, the car that initiates the yellow, and then, you know, Jason Tolton, just the car got loose and he went around. There's nothing malicious there. But he's able to restart this race in the 6th position and still try to fight his way into tonight's A-main event.
So it'll be Kyle Wirt and Mike Sirentakos bringing us down to the green flag. Sirentakos on the outside in that purple 6X. He had a feature win last year, as did Kyle Wirt in the number 19.
And Kyle Wirt had his feature win, if I'm not mistaken, a week after he absolutely destroyed one race car. Didn't he come out with a different race car the next week and win?
And then after that was just a constant threat to win every week after that crash. So it really turned this season around for the better.
Tolton's hood is almost vacated the race car.
Hanging on there off the far side from our vantage point. Side by side to the front. Wirt on the bottom, Sirentakos on the outside, and Jeremy May is just kind of sitting there and watching these two as they go wheel to wheel.
Great battle down the front straightaway. 3 laps in the books in this qualifier.
Great battle up front. The Eccles Auto Service number 19 of Kyle Wirt on the bottom side. The Lampman Salvage 6X and Mike Sirentakos on the outside. And here comes Jeremy May. He'll swing it to the outside of Wirt as Sirentakos squirted away.
Wow, and we're about to have a 3-wide battle for the lead off of turn number 2. Kyle Wirt falling back a little bit on the inside. Sirentakos with a great run on the high side. And Jeremy May, who split the middle, now battling for the lead off of turn 4.
Jeremy May reeled them in and now challenging for the win with a white flag out as they go down into corner number 1. Sirentakos on the high side. May a lane lower, and now Jason Dixon's right there in it too.
And how about Ryan Hiller in that 21? I believe he's a rookie in this division. I know Bob Hiller very well, a veteran of a lot of years of street stock and challenger racing on the pavement. But look at this. 6 cars nose to tail fanning out towards the checkered flag. Sirentakos with the win. Jeremy May comes home second.
Kyle Wirt will grab the 3rd spot over Jason Dixon, Jason Tolton, and the 21H of Ryan Hiller. So that concludes qualifying for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Also, again, it's their Instapanels Duel on the Dirt home race number 1 on the season. Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Packs. Sprint cars ready to come onto the speedway with their first of 3 qualifying heats.
25 cars in attendance tonight. The lineup, by luck of the draw, is how the lineup was determined tonight. And drawing the best number from Scotland, Ontario driver, the number 47X Hills Racing entry, Dylan Westbrook on the pole. On the outside of row number 1 out of Grimsby in the number 90 is Travis Cunningham. Row 2 on the inside from Caister Center. Car number 11 is Jamie Turkey alongside him, making his debut in the 360 sprints from Ohsweken, the 68 of Aaron Turkey. Car number 17X from Mississauga, Mac Demand behind the wheel of the 17X. Alongside him from Brantford, car number 110 is Jake Brown. Starting 7th, it's Big Brother from Brantford. Car number 10 is Mitch Brown. And rolling off 8th from Alden, New York, the 49 is Scott Kruder. Making his debut in the 360 sprints from Canfield, number 46 is Kevin Pauls. Nothing like 360 sprint cars right after you've watched mini stocks to really get an idea of how brave these drivers are. You'll have to get used to Dylan Westbrook in that black and red 47X alongside him. Travis Cunningham in the 90, slow and steady, working through turn number 4. Green flag is in the air.
They fired off down into corner number 1 for the first time here in 2019. The Cool Kids Ice and Water Core-Pack Sprint Cars thunder down the backstretch.
Dylan Westbrook out in front. Aaron Turkey showing no fear in that 68, but he'll be overtaken by Scott Kruder in the 49.
Dylan Westbrook out in front. Same face, different place. He's with Hills Racing now in that black, white, and red. Number 47X, he's sailing across the line to complete lap number 2.
Mac DeMann in that 17X had to drop the anchor in turn number 2 to avoid smashing that outside wall. Whoa, and Aaron Turkey up off the end of the racetrack. That's going to cost him some ground. Not sure if he's lost the fire in that 68 or maybe it jumped out of gear, but he's going to roll to a stop on the outside of the racetrack, bringing out a yellow flag with 3 laps complete.
Aaron Turkey in his maiden voyage in the 68 machine here in the 360 division comes to a stop to the outside of corner number 4. We have 3 laps in, 5 laps left to go. Dylan Westbrook picking up where he left off last season, back out in front.
He leads the way over Scott Kruder in the 49. So Kruder having gotten through that traffic, let's see what he can do lined up on the back bumper of Dylan Westbrook. Aaron Turkey gives a thumbs up to the safety crew. Yeah, Ashwegan Speedway, Case IH, Rochester Nighthawk sponsored number 68 being pushed off there on the front straightaway. How cool is that view? Oh, and it looks like he's going to be pushed all the way back to the pit. Something amiss on that 68 machine. How many toys did we get, Clinton and Spencer, over the offseason? We got a camera that can follow Clint around and work the broadcast. We had cameras on the backstretch, cameras on the front stretch. Of course, Greg in turn 2. Dave on top of the tower. Oh, and starting next week, we're also going to have a camera back in the work area.
And one in here.
Nobody needs to see us, Greg.
Scott Kruder back there in that second spot found his way to victory lane in 2018 here at the Big O after many years of trying.
And Dylan Westbrook, it's opening night here at Ashwegan Speedway, but he has been racing somewhere different every weekend for the last 2 months, Greg.
Yeah, spending a lot of time south of the border and gaining a lot of valuable experience. And if you're a regular in this division, it's not what you wanted to see is Dylan getting more experience against regular racers, full-time racers in the U.S.
Mac DeMann absolutely hurled that car down into turn number 1. He was sideways just past the start-finish line, making his run into the first turn. So obviously, he still has the nerve to do what needs to be done behind the wheel of a sprint car. Out in front, we have answered our question. Scott Kruder, even with an open look at the back bumper of Dylan Westbrook, not quite able to keep pace as we've got a great battle for third out there brewing. Jamie Turner in the third position, but Jake Brown wants the spot.
Westbrook checking out now almost a straightaway over Scott Kruder as Jamie Turner holding on to third, and now a change of position as Mac DeMann gets by Jake Brown. Brown fighting back in the bottom a little bit, 110.
Well, Jake Brown was trying to size up Jamie Turner. He got a little bit bogged down, and Mac DeMann made the move to the inside, took the position. Jake Brown trying to fight back. Meanwhile, Mac DeMann's trying to close in on Jamie Turner as Kevin Pauls goes a lap down to Dylan Westbrook as the white flag flies with one more lap to go in this heat.
Dylan Westbrook sails it down the backstretch into corner number 3 for the final time. He'll come to the checkered flag and pick up right where he left off. He'll grab the heat race win. Dylan Westbrook picks up the win over Scott Kruder. Here comes the battle for third. Mac DeMann will take it away from Jamie Turner. Turner back to fifth now as Jake Brown got him at the line.
That was a nice move by Jake Brown. Jamie Turner was trying to mount some sort of a challenge to Mac Demand after Demand took that spot. He just got a little bit crossed up down in 3 and 4, and Jake Brown knew exactly what to do to take advantage.
First of 3 qualifying heats into the record books now. Qualifying heat race number 2 making its way out of the speedway. 2-time champion out of Fenwick, Ontario. The Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen, will go from the pole to his outside out of Thetford, Ontario. The Dykstra Racing 5D, it's Shane Ross. Starting in third, rookie contender out of Scotland, Ontario, the crate sprint champion from 1 year ago. In the 87X, that'll be Sean Evans. And going from his outside, another rookie out of Beamsville, the 88H, is Josh Hansen. Starting in fifth, out of Charing Cross, in the 9B, that'll be Scott Burke. And going from the 6th spot, out of Cheektowaga, New York, the 94, that'll be Todd Hoddick. Starting in 7th, out of Caledonia, in the 55, Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. And starting in 8th, in the final starting position, out of Caister Center, the 91 of Ryan Turner.
We've got a pretty deep field of sprint cars, Greg Calnan. A lot of quality competitors. And we will set them loose next time by. Shane Ross on the outside in that black number 5. On the inside, it's Jim Hoopinen in the 14H. Remember, the leader fires first at around the chalk line, so the inside of the front row should take off first. And that's how it goes. Down into turn number 1. They're all battling for the bottom right now, which leaves the outside open for Josh Hansen to get a big run out in the backstretch.
Shane Ross grabs the lead away from Jim Hoopinen down the backstretch. He'll lead the lap number 1, and the battle for second is a good one between Hoopinen and Hansen. Hansen with a head of steam, but didn't want to throw it to the outside too deep.
Well, I think he did, but he realized Jim Hoopinen was headed up the racetrack, and he was not going to be able to get position in a time where Hoopinen could even understand that he was on the outside of him. So Josh Hansen wisely rolling out of the throttle there. He'll race from the 3rd position and try to close in again, but look who's on his way. Ryan Turner works up to the cushion in turn number 3. He had a good run going, but just made a little bit of a mistake in the 3rd turn.
Here comes Hoopinen making the charge back on Shane Ross for the lead. This time by, we'll see the cross flags go in the air. 4 laps in, 4 to go. As Hoopinen charges off at corner number 4, looks to the outside of Shane Ross.
3rd and 4th, everybody's sort of holding their positions right now. Nobody able to gain a lot of ground. As I say that, Jim Hoopinen in the 14 sweeps to the outside of Shane Ross. We've got a battle for the lead.
Shane didn't know he was there. He knows it now. Here comes Hoopinen to the outside. He'll grab the lead on lap number 5. 3 more circuits around for the Red Rocket.
Let's see if Shane Ross can adjust his line a little bit. Obviously, that outside groove is working for Josh Hansen and for Hoopinen. I shouldn't say the outside. They're more running the middle. As I say that, Josh Hansen heads up to the outside. But look at that. We're seeing a lot of different options here.
Josh Hansen looked like a natural when he came to the crate sprint car division. He looks the same right now with the 360s, showing no fear at all. Here he goes to the outside of Shane Ross for second.
It's all about being smooth, hitting your marks, and knowing what you want the car to do. When Josh Hansen sets the car into the turn, it almost looks obvious that's where he wants to run going into the turn and all the way through the corner as well. Checkered flag going to fly this time. Hoopinen going to take the win.
Jim Hoopinen, your winner. Shane Ross second. Josh Hansen will be third. Ryan Turner fourth. Sean Evans fifth. And it's Todd Hoddick sixth. Seventh will go to Mike Thorne. And then it'll be Scott Burke completing the running order in qualifying heat race number 2. So the Red Rocket, 2-time champion, gets the win in his first qualifying heat of the season.
Is there normally lights back up on the warm-up? Oh, I guess there are lights back there, aren't there? Looks very dark from here, doesn't it, the warm-up track?
A little bit of dust in the air, I think, is playing with the the look, but yes, it does look a little darker than normal back there.
One more qualifying heat to be run tonight. Starting on the pole in sprint car heat race number 3, car number 9 out of Carlisle, it's Steve Lyons. And on the outside of row number 1, car number 80 from St. Catharines is Chris Steele. Row 2 on the inside from Ohsweken, number 15 of Dan Nanakoke, and alongside him from Port Colborne, the 43 of Scott Shirk. Starting 5th in the 0C from Waterdown, it's Cole McDonald, and alongside of him from Caister Center, a new number in this Burger Barn, number 13 is Corey Turner. Rounding out the field from Lewiston, number 81 is Derek Jonathan, and alongside him from Dorchester, car number 1, Holly Porter. There are 50 chips in the bucket, in the bin that you can draw your starting position from. Holly Porter drew number 49, so dead last is what Holly Porter drew, and that's where she's starting on the field.
Steve Lyons in that number 9 machine. He's had a chance to do some cross-border racing here this early season.
Where did he race?
He was over in Michigan, I believe.
One of the best go-kart racers you will have ever seen in your lifetime, Steve Lyons.
Got his first 360 win last year with the Southern Ontario Sprints down at Brighton. Popular win. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when and where. And he, once again, will be strong here in 2019 as he will lead them to the green flag with Chris Steele flanking his outside.
Through 1 and 2, Chris Steele up on the outside. Steve Lyons got some good bite off of turn number 2. They drag race into 3 in close quarters. Chris Steele I think he surprised Steve Lyons driving to the outside. I think Lyons thought he was running the outside. Chris Steele went up a little bit higher, just a touch of contact, and it sent Chris Steele around backwards. And that Overland sponsored number 80. Look at the sponsors: Golfy, Fleet Contracting, Overland, Bilger.
That was a catch your breath moment for Chris Steele. Gathers it back up and does a nice job just locking it down.
And as we watch the replay, I just don't think Steve Lyons was expecting someone to be on the outside like that. It all happens in a big hurry. And whether he's expecting it or not, you know, Greg, we talk about these situations. We have lots of time to dissect these moves, replay them backwards, forwards, slow motion. This all happens in an absolute instant. Yeah,
it's literally a millisecond your decision-making time is, and Chris Steele got in there, and he probably realized it at that moment, yeah, this isn't going to work, and he did do a nice job to save that car, lock it down, get it turned around, catch his breath, and get back in the running order. Some great shots we're seeing from Clinton's camera on his vehicle there, riding alongside Steve Lyons.
And intentional or not, there was contact to bring out the yellow. It looks like they are sending Steve Lyons to the back of the field.
Well, that's a shame. Like you say, he doesn't really even know he's there.
But there was contact.
There's no incidental contact rule.
Doug Leonard runs a tight ship out here. Our race director does a nice job. And we put through a lot of race cars here on a Friday night. How many cars do we have here tonight? Over 100, about 120.
Green back in the air, and this time it's Dan Nanakoke leading the field down into corner number 1 with Derek Jonathan in tow. Corey Turner makes it 3 wide with Shirk and Steele, and Steele's got some more smoke pluming out of the back of that car like he had in hot laps.
That might be coming out of his helmet.
Well, he's up to 3rd, looking for 2nd now down in corner 1.
Made a bold move there on that start. Passed about 3 cars in turns 1 and 2. Holly Porter works into the top 5 in that orange number 1. Derek Jonathan going to look to the outside of Dan Nanticoke down into turns 1 and 2. Chris Steele on the bottom, Jonathan up top, Dan Nanticoke around the middle. If you remember, opening night last year was not a good night for Dan Nanticoke. Jumped a car down there in turn number 3, and boy, oh boy, did he ever get loose there in 4.
Good four-car battle at the front as Corey Turner gets into the mix. Now he looks low on Dan Nanticoke as they go down into corner number 3. Jonathan, your leader, but here comes the 80 of Chris Steele on the bottom.
And Corey Turner closing in as well in that Burger Barn Ace 1 construction number 13. So 3 cars out in front. Holly Porter closing in on Dan Nanticoke. She'll work to the outside.
Jonathan and Steele. That time Steele will lead the lap in the 80. The real deal back to the top of the charts. Jonathan back into the second spot. Corey Turner now running in third.
Chris Steele will use the outside, use the bottom, use the middle. He used every groove out there as Corey Turner throws a slider on Derek Jonathan to take the second position with just a couple laps to go in this sprint car heat.
Chris Steele leads him down into corner number 3, coming now this time to the white flag, and Corey Turner trying to reel him in here in this final lap. That 13 car, once he got by Jonathan, he has really been hooked up.
Well, and at this point, you're using this as a bit of a test session because these are different track conditions than the drivers have faced in either on practice night or here tonight. Things slicking up, but the track is nice and wide and smooth as Chris Steele takes the win over Corey Turner, Holly Porter, Derek Jonathan, Dan Nanticoke, and Steve Lyons.
There's your winner, Chris Steele. In the Golfy Concrete, number 80, the real deal, picking up his first heat win of the season. Qualifying complete. A heat race qualifying complete, rather. We still have B mains to run.
And if you remember earlier when we thought 6 cars transferred out of the crates, we complimented Noelle Teal on making it into the A main. Greg, she did not. But the young lady from Hagersville, Ontario, will start on the pole of crate sprint car Strickland's GMC crate sprint car B main number 1 in that 14T. Starting at second from Oshweek, the 38 is Derek Miller. Rolling off third from Six Nations, the 20 is Johnny Miller. Starting fourth out of Ancaster, the 26X is Terry Baker. Starting fifth from Mount Bridges, the 45 is Nick Sheridan. Scheduled to start sixth in the 14 is Eric Gladhill. Seventh, the 29W out of Woodstock of Tyler Ward, and scheduled to start 8th from Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis. 2 cars will transfer from this B main into tonight's A main event. So 8 cars were scheduled, 6 cars showed up. Tyler Ward did not make it. AJ Lewis did not make it.
So we'll come to the green flag. Noelle Teal and Derek Miller on that front row. Johnny Miller. And Terry Baker back in row 2. Then it's Nick Sheridan. And the 14 of Eric Gladhill, who had the topple over in his qualifying heat, back out trying to get one of these transfer spots.
Noelle Teal fired first, a little bit ahead of the chalk line. We'll see if Doug Leonard's going to let that fly. No, he is not. The yellow flag flies. Premature acceleration, Greg Calnan.
That it will be, and I believe she is going to go back a row now.
That'll put Johnny Miller, the Iceman, on the pole in the number 20. He will control the field coming to the green. And I have a feeling he is going to wait until they get to that chalk line. Talk about a youthful inside row. Johnny Miller, Noelle Teal, and young Nick Sheridan, all, I believe, teenagers.
We'll try it again. Johnny Miller gets to the chalk line. Looks like that one will be okay as we are under the green flag now.
Noel Teal develops a little bit of a push down in 1 and 2, so Terry Baker had to take evasive action. That allows Johnny Miller to settle into that second position. Now Teal trying to hold off Terry Baker. Remember, the top 2 is where you've got to be to get into tonight's big dance, the A main event.
Off of corner 4, Derek Miller will lead the lap over Johnny Miller. Noel Teal right now in that third spot on the outside looking in.
And Johnny Miller doing a nice job, the young man in that 20 machine in his first crate sprint race here at Ohsweken Speedway. He is putting some distance on Noel Teal in that 14T. Derek Miller getting away from him, but Derek Miller has a lot of experience in these race cars. I would expect him to know what to do on a fairly slick racetrack out in front, but Johnny Miller, that's impressive to me, the drive he's putting together here in that second spot.
Miller works it down the back stretch. Coming to lap number 5 this time by, it'll be the cross flags in the air for Derek Miller in car number 38.
5 laps down, 5 laps to go. Is the best battle on the racetrack right now is that race for the third position. Noel Teal has the spot in that blue and black number 14. Another blue and black race car right behind her looking for the third position. It's Terry Baker, and he was actually a little bit too close to her back bumper there when she bobbled in 1 and 2. He wasn't able to go anywhere except check up. Now he'll drive to the inside off of turn number 4 and take over the third position.
Time by it'll be 7 laps complete, 3 to go in this first B main for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. 2 cars to punch their tickets. Right now it's Derek and Johnny Miller out in front 1 and 2. It's a long distance back right now to Terry Baker running in third.
And Noel Teal really struggling with the handling of that race car. She goes into the corner and the car looks to get quite tight on her. And then it snaps loose coming off the corner. She'll chase it up the banking there, and that might be a better place for her to run with the handling of the race car the way it is right now.
White flag goes on the field for Derek Miller as he crosses the stripe. There's 1 more lap around to make his way into the A main and see if he can bring Johnny Miller along with him as they both work down the back stretch. Checkers will come out. And moving to the A main will be the 38 of Derek Miller and the 20 of Johnny Miller. Terry Baker will just miss it in that third spot. Nick Sheridan moves up to the 4th spot, getting by Noel Teal.
Nice job by Johnny Miller as a rookie to get into tonight's A main event. And when we talk to these drivers on interview night, Greg, we got a lot of that from the young drivers. They really understood how challenging it was going to be to qualify for an A main, so they had reasonable goals. Clinton Jeffrey?
I just want to chime in on Johnny Miller, longtime friend of the Stiers family. Obviously, Johnny's dad and Glenn grew up together as kids. So Johnny was destined to be part of the team eventually, and he looked fantastic on Monday at the Action Sprint Tour race at Merrittville. Not intimidated at all. Looked like he was a veteran out there and pretty good for him to qualify for his first ever crate feature here at Ohsweken.
Yeah, he did a nice job. A good composed drive there in that B main number 1. B main number 2 is about to roll out, and here's how the lineup on the pole out of Burford. Number 12 is Brad Herron. On the outside of row 1 from Freelton, the 43 is Darren Dryden. Starting in 3rd from Niagara Falls, the 70 is Bailey Hurd, and starting 4th from Vanessa, number 4 is Hannah Farrell. Scheduled to start 5th from Hamilton, the 19D is Alan Downey, and starting 6th in the number 2 is Travis Hofstetter. Rounding out the field in the MK8 from Hagersville, it is Matthew Hill, and we will see who makes the call for B main number 2.
Well, Adam, as you see, 4 cars, so we are expecting 2 or 3 more. Alan Downey now comes out in the 19 car. It looks like 5 cars going for the last 2 positions to qualify into tonight's feature event. Reminder, everybody, don't forget your 50-50 tickets. We're at a guaranteed $750 tonight. And I think we're probably closing up on that already if we're not already around it. And let's remind everybody once again, next Friday night, our first MAV TV Canada broadcast live here from the Speedway. It is carload night. 6 of you and your friends can get in for $30. Not each, that's for all of you. Next week, kids, bring out your signs, make signs about your favorite drivers. Let's really show the racing world why Oshweekon is the best place to be on a Friday night. And Adam, we're super excited. So once again, carload night, maximum of 6 people in a car for $30. Here we go.
10 laps the distance. Top 2 will transfer to the A main. Brad Herron slow and steady off of turn number 4 to the green flag. Gets on the loud pedal and we are underway. Field works through 1 and 2. Darren Dryden to the outside of Bailey Hurd in that 70. Clinton Jeffrey. We've got Brad Herron in the 12, Bailey Hurd in the 70, and Hannah Farrell in the 4. One of those 3, at least one of those 3, maybe 2, are not going to start tonight's A main. Who would have believed that?
Good job by Darren Dryden to drive up around the 70 of Bailey Hurd. Hurd, a veteran here in this division since last year, running very well in a few races so far. And off the bottom, here comes Herron for the Stiers Racing team, the Glenn Stiers Racing number 12. But Darren Dryden trying to lock his way in just like Johnny Miller did.
And Darren Dryden doesn't yet look quite comfortable to me. Watching him in practice, watching him at Merrifield Monday night, doing a nice job, doing the things he has to do to learn. But it just looks to me as though he's going to figure it out. He is a great race car driver. And actually watching him in this B main, it looks like he's gotten a little bit comfortable out there behind the wheel. As I say that, he bobbles in turn 3. Bailey Hurd to the inside.
Dryden will pull away to about a 4-car length advantage as they enter turn number 1. Brad Herron pulling away and Dryden way up over the cushion, and Hurd will pass him on the bottom and take away the 2nd position, which is a transfer spot to the A feature.
That's the big spot as Bailey Hurd takes over the 2nd spot and more importantly takes over the line that Darren Dryden was running. So if Dryden wants to retake that position, he's going to have to search around on the racetrack and try to find a little something, but it doesn't look like it's going to go his way as Bailey Hurd driving away from the 43.
Big gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd right now, so a long way for Dryden to capture one of these final transfer positions. Brad Herron looking comfortable like the veteran he is out front here in the number 12. And this one quickly coming to a close.
And look at Bailey Hurd. He's got a long way to go to catch up to the 12 of Brad Herron, but he's making tracks out there in that 70. He's found a nice line he's comfortable with, and we've got 2 laps to go.
Herron stretching up that margin more and more, and Hurd getting up to the middle high entry into turn number 1 and making that pay off for him. Herron just on cruise up here, and looks like Hurd may be chasing him down a little bit, Adam.
You're absolutely right. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Alan Downey, he's going to do it again. He's going to stay on the lead lap out there, just cruising around, turning his laps, putting in seat time. But the drivers who are going to do what they set out to do and qualify for tonight's A main, Brad Herron in the 12, Bailey Hurd in the 70, going home early. Darren Dryden in the 43, Hannah Farrell in the number 4, and Alan Downey in the 19.
So we'll get ready for mini stocks coming up next.
A pair of B features for the mini stocks, 10 cars in each of them, and I believe the top 2 out of these will transfer as well. Here's how they line up for B main number 1. Number 54, Christopher French on the pole. Outside of him in the 222 is Nick Mazzy. Starting 3rd in the 93, it's Andy Rickman. Alongside of him is Dave Goodacre in the 05. 265 is Mike Evers. John Cote behind the wheel of the 38C. Then it'll be Steve Miller in the 79. Tim DeBoer in the number 9. Tom Cole drives the 6R, and rounding out the field in the number 10, it is Zach Buchwald. So, B-main number 1 rolling down the back straightaway. Kyle McKenzie ready to drop the green flag this time on turn number 4. Christopher French on the pole in that 54 machine, looking to transfer into the A-main. Once again, we've got some heavy hitters out there. DeBoer in the 9 had to pull off from his qualifying heat with some sort of mechanical trouble. Nick Massey in the 222 with lots of speed. Mike Evers, a veteran of this division. Let's see who it's going to be. Green flag flies. We are underway.
Off to turn 1, Evers looking in on the bottom of the 265. That car runs very good on the inside, but it pushes up a little bit. Now here comes French right on the back bumper of the second place machine.
DeBoer in that number 9 up the back straightaway. He'll look to the inside of Christopher French. French pinches him down just a little bit going into 3, but doesn't seem to bother DeBoer, and he keeps his foot to the floor, and he'll keep contending for that position.
Working on the outside, there's that DeBoer number 9. Remember, it pushed up, not sure if he had a flat right front. They really squeeze up to the fence down the back straightaway.
The outside is definitely the place to make that move, able to keep the momentum up. So now Mike Evers in that second position. DeBoer wants it out in front. Nick Massey trying to walk away with this one. Doing a pretty good job in the opening laps of that as well.
Massey with a straight line off of turn number 2 as Evers points it straight as well. Trying to pull up to the back bumper here of Nick Massey's 222. DeBoer is fast in that 9 car last year. See what he can do. Evers slow off of 4, big time, and that pulls DeBoer to the outside corner.
Yeah, DeBoer got a big run there when Mike Evers bobbled a little bit, and DeBoer was able to keep his momentum going. Now Mike Evers slides up the racetrack between 1 and 2. Great battle for second position.
Nick Massey, formerly driving that Nissan 240 that was so dominant. Now he's got what appears to be a Cavalier Sunfire with the new dual overhead cam rules that just came into play last year for North American cars here in the Ontario dirt scene. 2 wide for second as they roll down the back straightaway. Mike Evers on the inside, Tim DeBoer working the top.
Great battle side by side for the second position. One of these drivers going to get in. One of these drivers going to go home as the white flag is out. One more lap to settle the score.
Down on the inside, Evers with full left rudder trying to keep the blue 265 on the bottom. DeBoer will get around him on the outside, but up front with the lead, it's Nick Massey. All alone up in front, he'll punch his ticket to the A feature. Massey will get it done, Adam, bring us the rest.
DeBoer gonna finish second. He needed a perfect turn 3 and 4. He got it. Mike Evers was able to keep pace, but not fight back for that position. Steve Miller, his night ends early. So does Dave Goodacre in the 05. Buckwald in the 10. And Tom Cole in the 6R.
Don't forget your 50-50 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Also, don't forget carload night next week. $30 gets you in. We're going to keep harping on you all night about that. Don't forget, if you're sitting here watching our stream, make sure you're sharing it. And if you're at home, share it up. Let's get everybody. I got to say, Adam, I don't know who was the key person who tweeted us out today, but our stream numbers are amazing tonight. So thank you all for watching.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. And I keep my Facebook open. I get messages throughout the night from people watching in different places, and I absolutely love it. Clinton, one thing I want to add to your $30 carload night, if you come here as a couple on Friday night, invite another couple that's never been to the races. If you come here with kids, invite a couple of different kids that have never been to the races. Take advantage of that $30 carload. Make sure you fill the car up. Bring people that haven't seen what we do here on a Friday night. Introduce them to it. We might just build some brand new race fans, and what better way to do it than when it's only going to cost you $30 for an entire car full of fans. B feature number 2, Tim Newell behind the wheel of the 26. The 21H is Ryan Hiller. Brian Crossgrove in the 96C. The 517 is Cody Somerville. Trevor Want in the 19T. Cole Hardy in the 7C, scheduled to be out there. Mike Giberson in the 11. Brent Walker in the 6W. And Jeff Alslinger in the 11E. Remember, 6 laps, 2 cars transfer.
Well, Alslinger just pulled the escape route, right turn, and went in through the outdoor. And he will park it early in this one. Here we come around onto the back straightaway. It'll be Tim Newell with the lead in what appears to be the former champs car of Matt Newell from last year.
Yeah, Tim out in front right now in that 26 machine will lead lap number 1. Feeling some pressure now, though, from Ryan Hiller in that 21H.
Hiller looking pretty fast here, Adam, as he works his way around. We'll turn it back over to you, and Newell pushes right up in front of them.
Yeah, Hiller is looking great in that 21 machine, and they do have a history in racing. I believe Bob Hiller's his dad. It could be his uncle. I'll have to get the word on that. I saw Bob here as they rolled the car through tech. One thing it does have in common with the cars that Bob Hiller always brought to the racetrack is it is a nicely prepared car. It's a pretty race car. Pretty quick too, Greg.
Yeah, working that outside line, caught a couple of bumps the last 2 times around the high side of 2 great shots we're getting to see of that car getting some air. But he's right there hanging in tough, not losing time on leader Tim Newell.
Halfway through, 3 laps down, 3 laps remain in this B main event. Newell with all sorts of pressure from Ryan Hiller. Now what Ryan Hiller is going to learn here is you can't hesitate. If the opportunity arises, he has to find a lane and take the opportunity, because you know who's going to, Greg? Brian Cosgrove in that 96. That's the trouble with these last chance races. You think you're in good position, then all of a sudden you're on the outside looking in. As we say that, Hiller looking to the outside of Newell for the top spot.
Yeah, Hiller not going away on that outside line. He'll try again down in corner number 3. Kyle McKenzie will show the field the white flag. Tim Newell really slowed up down in corner number 3. That allowed Hiller to gain ground. He'll work the outside line. They'll go side by side into corner number 1, and Brian Cosgrove just waiting for something to happen so maybe he can sneak in.
Well, the big thing for Hiller is just don't run the line Newell's running. You have to have an escape route should something happen to keep yourself in a transfer spot. As Newell looks like he is going to take the win. Hiller's going to finish second and qualify for the A-Main. Cosgrove, Somerville, Want, Giberson, and Elslager fail to qualify on opening night.
Again, 50-50, guaranteed $750 to flag down the sellers in those pink shirts and get in on tonight's 50-50 draw. As it looks like we will have a brief break in the action as we get ready for feature time. All the qualifying has taken place, and we are ready to go. Of course, Thunderstocks and 360 sprints not needing B mains here tonight. Fan appreciation draw. We'll do that right now, so get the tickets that you got on your way into the Speedway tonight. Fan appreciation draw. And if you have any of these numbers, please go down to the main entryway to claim your prize. The ladies will be down there for the next 15 minutes. First number, adult ticket 23413. 23413. Senior youth ticket 29415. 29415. Seasons pass 069604. 069604, and a children's pass 40656. 40656. If you have any of those fan appreciation numbers, please make your way down to the main entryway. We'll give you those numbers one more time. Adult ticket 23413. 23413. Senior youth ticket 29415. 29415. Seasons pass ticket 069604. 069604, and children's ticket 40656. 40656. So again, if you have those numbers, please make your way down to the main entryway to claim your prize in the next 15 minutes.
Big hello to Taylor Windsor watching from Medicine Hat, Alberta. We love the comments on Facebook, folks, so keep them coming. I actually enjoy watching people talk to each other on our Facebook feed as well, Greg.
Also want to give a shout out, happy 75th birthday to Mark Fawcett's father-in-law, Jim Wilshire. So happy birthday, Jim.
Burlington, Hamilton, Sydney, Australia. One of these things is not like the other. Hello from Michigan from Eric. Brenda says she wishes she was here in person. We wish you were here in person as well. Everybody needs to come out and take this in. Taylor Lawson, summer is indeed here, although I'd still like a little bit warmer temperatures. Hope you're doing well. So intermission is underway. Where is the maestro gone? Greg is over there fanning the door. So we've got a wall in the tower. We explained that between the officials, and it's good because I think Brittany has forgotten to take her medication tonight. She is climbing the walls in here, distracting what we're trying to do on this side, Greg. But I have noticed it. I can't help but notice that we have no climate control on our side of the tower, and I am sweating. So the track crew out there doing some work. Darren finally comes back. Like, Darren, I was going to start singing. Nobody wants that. Darren keeps the tunes going, writes his notes now and then. We're a team here at Ohsweken. No member of the team, Greg, more important than another. But without Darren, it's just silence. We stop talking and there's nothing.
Well, I had a gentleman come up to the booth and ask about Tyler Hendricks. And, of course, Tyler was injured quite seriously at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season last year, and broke a bone in his neck. And I know in talking to his dad, he was having some more troubles after the original surgery. He had to go back for a second surgery, and by the sounds of it, things are A-OK now, and that second surgery fixed all the problems that he was having, which is great news. But Tyler Hendricks, needless to say, has no plans to return to sprint car racing that I know of, and from what I understand, they've sold their equipment. So when you've got a young family like that, definitely there's higher priorities than returning to the racetrack. So I'm sure Tyler's at home along with Scott watching.
See, and this is why I love the interactivity, and you know, Tyler Hendricks, glad he is making a recovery, and racing can take a bad seat. There are more important things, but Judy, thank you. Bob Hiller is Ryan's dad. Thanks to Judy Quinn Hiller for the information.
I've got the souvenir program numbers here. I'm just going to read those out very quickly here, and you can claim these down at the flag stand. Program number 179, $50 gift certificate courtesy of Grand River Dinner Cruises. 179. 2 free passes to the Speedway to 167, 167. A hat courtesy of Caledonia Auto Supply to 108, 108. Program number 170 for a hat courtesy of Queenston Chevrolet, 170. And for a free large 3-item pizza courtesy of Wiggy's Pizza in Caledonia to 123, 123. Again, if you have any of these program numbers, go down to the flag stand, claim your prize. I'll read off the numbers quickly here one more time. 179, 167, 108, 108, 170, that's 170, and 123. So if you have those numbers, make your way down to the flag stand to claim your prize.
Well, Greg, we're down here with our ACKLAND Insurance Top Gun Award winner, Scott Kruder, with family and young Dawson here. I was just telling him I follow along, so I love all the baby talk, by the way. Well, Scott, new dad, how's that going for you so far?
Very good. Finally getting a little sleep, so that's good.
Come on, you sleep every night. She does the work. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, we split it.
Hey, I took paternity with both my kids, too. What does it mean to come out here on opening night to be the Top Gun Award winner on ACKLAND Insurance night, take Nathan's money for the first shot this year?
Good, it feels good. The car is pretty good. We just got to get a little bit better. Dylan's still really fast, so hopefully we can make a couple adjustments and see what we can do in the future.
Well, congratulations. Hopefully you can take some cash home to New York and buy Dawson some new clothes tomorrow or something.
Thank you.
There you go, Scott Kruder, ladies and gentlemen, our Top Gun Award winner. We'll get Caleb Wood in here. So Scott is our 360 Top Gun Award winner, and now we'll jump with Caleb Wood. Caleb, you looked really good in that qualifying heat race here tonight. You'll be the second guy to take home Nathan's money in ACKLAND Insurance night. Great start to your season, though, when you're the fastest guy and win qualifying on opening night.
Yeah, it feels really good. I mean, good start to the season, good momentum. I'm happy.
How's the track looking? They've just adjusted the cushion a bit in one, but fairly smooth for an opening night track. Markedly different than last year.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, we're going to chase the track a little bit. Hopefully we have a good feature.
All All right, good luck tonight. Caleb Wood, ladies and gentlemen, he's your Top Gun Award winner. We'll send him back to the pits as we've got the Thunderstocks getting lined up here in turn 4, getting set to go. Don't forget, once again, Carlo night next week, $30 to come on out and see us. For a whole bunch of us, we'll be here. How about a hand for Scott Kruder and Caleb Wood, our ACKLAND Insurance Top Gun Award winners and the fastest in the qualifying heat races.
Well, good job down there, Clinton Jeffrey. And you're right, as I load the live stream on my computer, we got a lot of eyeballs on the racetrack tonight. Great to see. I'm sure everyone's been jonesing for a little bit of activity on Friday nights. Like, what do you do? Craig, what do you do on Friday nights when we're not here at the racetrack?
I have 4 kids. You have to ask? I'm peeling kids off the ceiling.
Is number 5 on the way?
No, it is not.
Then I know what you haven't been doing on Friday nights. Oh, dear.
My wife and I went out for a nice dinner last Friday night.
Did you go to the Burger Barn?
No, Turtle Jack's, sorry.
I know you love the Burger Barn.
I had a burger. Does that count?
Not really.
Ready to go, the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock feature event, their first of 2019. Blake Bobberry Jr. will start on the pole. To his outside will be Logan Schwedick in the 53. Starting in third out of Victoria, Ontario, the 84 RK, that's Ryan Beagle. And to his outside, Mark Fawcett out of Canfield in the 32. Starting fifth out of Simcoe, the 4, that's Aaron Rowitsky. And going from sixth out of Hagersville, the champ, Dave Bailey in the 49. Starting in seventh in the 23 out of Hagersville, it's Trevor DeBoer. And alongside him in the 8th starting spot in car number 79 out of Guelph, it's Christopher Hale. Starting in 9th out of Caister Center, Jim Lampman in the 28 machine, and Go Fast Teeple in the 11. He will go from position number 10. And then in the 11th starting spot is Donnie Lampman out of Caister Center, Ontario. Adam Ross, I wish the camera was on right now. Ryan Dinning will go from the 12th spot out of Hagersville in car number 8. Rob Hoskins will start in the 13th spot out of Harley in car number 37. Chris Dickey will go from 14th out of Brantford in car number 1. Then in the 15th starting spot from Brantford, Casey Huffman in the 13. Ken Sargent will roll off 16th. Alongside him is Jeff Roloffs out of Chatham in the 17th starting spot aboard car number 6R. Adam Plazik goes from the 18th spot from Caister Center in the 41. Going 19th, Derek Liverance out of Brantford in the 40. And then we've got Kyle Andrus going 20th out of Hamilton in car 43. Johnny Lowenberg out of York will go in car number 14th from the 21st starting spot. And starting 22nd out of Caledonia, the 21X, is Mark Bazine. The viewers have no idea what they missed here in the tower.
It's 105 degrees in here Fahrenheit. Someone turned on a fan. I am making the most of it.
I thought you were trying to show me your Superman logo, but all I saw was a big mat full of hair.
Well, it's a long winter.
Oh, looks like you didn't shave all winter either. Darren said he thought you were wearing 2 sweaters.
It's like a train wreck. You can't look away. And you had to look this way because that's where the starting lineup was. That was what felt the best to me.
I got halfway through the field.
Green flag going to fly out of turn number 4. Go Fast Teeple in the number 11 on the point with Ryan Beagle on the outside. Double green flags from Kyle McKenzie. We are underway with our first feature event of 2019.
Beagle leads the pack down the backstretch. Here comes Dave Bailey working that outside line around Go Fast Teeple in the 11 as they work off corner number 3 and into 4. Bailey right on the back bumper of Ryan Beagle coming down to complete lap number 1.
You know, I was a little surprised Monday night at Merrittville Speedway. Ryan Beagle didn't come out to race. On those nights where you have a lot of race cars, the track slicks over, he performs very, very well. On a slick racetrack, Ryan Beagle is as good as anybody, and I'll tell you, on iRacing, Ryan Beagle is as good a 360 sprint car racer as anybody I've seen. That cat can wheel a car.
One driver on the move here early on, Mark Bazine picking his way through the field, and the 21X started dead last, and he is now working around the outside of Ken Sargent back there around mid-pack.
Yeah, he's working his way. He's about a third of the way through the field. He's going to find as you get closer to the front, they get harder and harder to pass. But Mark Bazine working his way. Blake Bombury was lightning quick in his heat in that purple number 24. He's racing right around the tail end of the top 10 right now, battling with Aaron Ruwitsky, who has slid back from his top 5 starting spot.
Kyle Andrus will take the 43 to the pit area. He'll be the first car to pull off here in this feature event. 4 laps are on the board, and here comes the battle for the lead. Dave Bailey works down low on Ryan Beagle. Beagle not giving up on the outside. He's got a good run on that APC, number 84 RK.
So Dave Bailey's going to work the bottom groove right now, and one thing he is able to do, he's got phenomenal car control, and he can hit that spot lap after lap after lap if he wants to. So what he's basically going to do is try to make Ryan Beagle make a mistake. He's going to keep hitting that spot, and it's a little bit slower than Ryan Beagle's able to run, but one bobble out of Ryan Beagle, Dave Bailey will get that lead.
Bailey right there, following in the tire tracks of Beagle as they work it off of corner 4, completing a lap number 6 now with 14 to go here in this first Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock feature of 2019. Beagle holding a pretty wheel right now, sails it down the backstretch. 1 and 2 pulling away from the rest of the pack, where Christopher Hale right now is in that 3rd spot.
And they battle so close. Last time out of turn 4, Chris Hale was right alongside as Dave Bailey takes the lead over Ryan Beagle on the inside. Can he slide up and take Beagle's lane away? I believe he'll be able to, going down the back straightaway. So Dave Bailey into the top spot in that number 49. But a couple laps ago, Chris Hale and Logan Schwedick were side by side through 4. Hale got loose, and all Logan Schwedick could do was kick his car sideways to avoid contact. So they both sort of half spun off of turn 4. That cost them even more ground to the leaders, Dave Bailey and Ryan Beagle.
Dave Bailey out in front, that Gyps Action Sport Queenston Chevrolet number 49, with Ryan Beagle right there in 2nd. Then it's Christopher Hale and Logan Schwedick 3rd and 4th. Put a nice run out in the top 5 right now. And Go Fast Teeple, he is really looking strong, holding on in the top 5.
Beamsville Fish and Chips was the sponsor last year on the 11. I believe they still are. I heard that announced at Merrittville Speedway, so I'm right. We have reached the halfway point. 10 laps are in the books. We have 10 laps remaining as the yellow flag flies.
Casey Huffman is limping his way into the pit area, so I'm not sure. Is that something up there on the high side of corner 1?
That's not a Doug Leonard kind of yellow flag. It looks like Casey Huffman had his stuff together. Maybe. Okay. I take it all back.
Yeah, guys, a bit of debris, sheet metal stuck there on the outside of turn 1 of the cushion. And they'll get that one picked up right away. Great job on the track crew tonight for opening night and all the rain we've had the past few weeks. It is very smooth out there, guys. We had that one issue in turn 1 that we worked on, but other than that, track's looking really good this evening.
And we saw what brought out the yellow. And Clinton, you're absolutely right. The track is wide, the track is smooth, and it was contact between Casey Huffman and Johnny Lowenberg in that white number 14 that cut down a tire on Huffman's car, sent him pit side.
So 2 separate incidents, really. The debris, I don't believe, is from Huffman, because when he came back around the track, the debris was already there. So Huffman took a pretty hard hit on the backstretch wall. I did not see that when it happened.
No, neither did I. Sometimes when I wake up, Big Earn's already there. You ever watch the movie Kingpin? Love that movie.
I don't remember if I have or not.
Bill Murray was Big Earn.
No, I haven't. It's not the movie I'm thinking of.
Well, it's a classic, Greg. Many quotables. So 9 laps back on the board. We go back to the last completed lap, and Kyle McKenzie, green flag in hand, going to set them loose out of turn 4. Dave Bailey, the leader, elects to start on the outside. He'll lead them into turn 1.
Brewster Baker leads the pack through corner number 2, and they're all stacked up behind him as Logan Schwedick works to the outside of Ryan Beagle. He'll take the 2nd spot away, and now Jim Lampman works the outside line as well. Beagle taking heat from Christopher Hale on the bottom side.
And Beagle completely changed his plan there in 3 and 4, running the bottom groove. He was sort of mired in the middle of the racetrack. I thought he was going to try to fight his way back to the top. He likes to go lower on the racetrack. That allows Jim Lampman to the outside. Chris Hale lost a spot there. Jim Lampman up into third as he battles with Ryan Beagle. Well, Beagle third that lap. Lampman alongside battling for that position.
Good pack of racing going on. Trevor DeBoer, Chris Hale, Go Fast Teeple, and Rob Hoskins, 23, 79, 11, and 37, all in a pack right there behind the leaders. Duking it out.
Feels good to see Rob Hoskins having a decent run out here in the top 10. He had some horrible luck last season for a stretch. It seemed that he couldn't catch a break at all. Out there right now, I believe in the 8th position, just ahead of Ryan Dinning and Aaron Rawutski. So right in the mix, and really in this Thunderstock division, Greg, everybody on the racetrack has the potential to have a good top 5 run. This is a tightly bunched, tough field of cars.
Yeah, it truly is, and we're seeing that right now with a smattering of cars right now that some are in places you wouldn't normally expect them to be, but when the field's this strong, where else are they supposed to go? Like you said, someone like Mark Bazzani started picking cars off early on in this feature event, but has kind of mired himself where he is back in the bottom third of the field.
Yeah, he sort of got that far right off the hop, and he might have even lost a spot or two since then, but hanging out in that position. Out in front is Dave Bailey by about 10 car lengths over Logan Schwedick. Ryan Beagle trying to mount a challenge as we got 6 laps remaining, now 5 laps to go.
Here comes Ryan Beagle. He'll look to the inside of Logan Schwedick for that second spot. Works it down low in corner number 4. Does Beagle have anything left for the leader?
Whoa!
Get by Schwedick. Troubles. And the caution flag will fly.
I think that was Jimmy Lowenberg, and I don't know, is that a trail of oil down there in turn 3? Yeah, I think it is, because he sort of got sideways and spun the other way, and the trail follows that car right up to the point where it stopped. So we might have expired a motor, maybe blew a rad hose. I believe Clinton Jeffrey is heading out to the scene. He'll be able to tell right away by the smell. Greg, did you know that there's a lot of rules about being on television?
I'll know next week.
I've already been warned about some of the things you're not supposed to do on live TV, and I actually do all of them.
I was just about to say, I'm sure we broke every rule here in the last 2 hours.
Well, guys, up here in turns 3 and 4, Johnny Lowenberg with a rad hose or something going awry under the hood, and that's the cause of the fluid streak we see. Says he just pulled it up here and stopped after he got twisted around, so there is fluid out the back. Looks like a rad hose gone on the Lowenberg 14.
Big old trail of water is a lot cheaper to repair than a big old trail of oil, in my experience, Greg. Also a lot easier to clean up the racing surface.
Great shots. Again, we're getting from the live feed to get in there and have a look up close as these drivers come to rest after the caution flags after different incidents tonight. Again, bring your mobile device and watch while you're here in the stands.
We'll have to get charging stations at some point. Let's talk to Clint about that, getting them run, like have a section dedicated to people with smartphones. We talked about in-car cameras, and we were told it was cost prohibitive to have in-car cameras, but I think we should just have Clint's cameraman ride in the passenger seat of one of these race cars and hang on tight, and we'll have some great views.
Oh, they've been phenomenal. It gives you the feel a couple of times tonight of what it's like coming to a green flag, kind of tucked in behind the field, and gives you a view that you don't get to see on a normal basis. Four laps left to settle it. And Dave Bailey looking to notch another win in his belt.
Adam Plazik's number 41. He runs deep in the field in that 41 machine. that sits like a street stock car that you would see racing down in New York. And I don't know how better to explain it, but some of those central New York track street stocks just have a different attitude about them. It doesn't have that sleek, sunk down look that Logan Schwedick and Dave Bailey and Ryan Beagle and Jim Lampman have. It sits a little bit higher.
Flag back out. Dave Bailey working that top side, Schwedick on the bottom. Dave Bailey right now is looking for career win number 22. That would put him one behind A.J. Lewis and Ryan Dinning, who are tied for the most career wins in the Thunderstock division with 23 each.
Such an impressive list of drivers we've had in Thunderstocks over the years. None more impressive than Dave Bailey, but A.J. Lewis was dominant for a time. Ryan Dinning, always a top-notch competitor. And thankfully, we still have all of them racing here at Ohsweken on a Friday night. Not necessarily in this division, but they all still take part in the festivities. We got 2 laps to go.
Dave Bailey, so smooth all the time, back out in front. Logan Schwedick is right there. He's been able to hang with him, been able to race with him here tonight. I think Logan feels good about how his run's been, but he'd love nothing more than to find something here in this final lap. One more time around, and a good battle behind him between Beagle and Lampman.
Man, and they're playing bumper cars deep in the field, bouncing off of each other. One more time down the backstretch for Dave Bailey. We've got a great battle for third, though, Greg.
Across the stripe, the checkers will come out. Dave Bailey, the first feature winner of 2019. Logan Schwedick second. Ryan Beagle third. Fourth is Jim Lampman. And Chris Hale, after a car that was destroyed a week ago, comes home with a top 5. Good run for him.
I think they'll have to be pretty happy with that run. My favorite part of the story with Chris Hale is the list of competitors that came to his aid to help him put that car back together. And pretty proud of that here at Ohsweken Speedway. They all get along pretty well for a class of cars that beat the tar out of each other on a weekly basis.
Feature win number 22 for Dave Bailey. He's one away from tying with A.J. Lewis and Ryan Dinning as being the all-time winningest drivers in the division. We'll send it down to victory lane. Clinton Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's warm in here, man. Can I get you guys to sign a release for the Thunderstock, or what's it, Friday Night Thunder show? Try to catch you guys in between heats there. Just a date, signature, print your name.
And get a mugshot.
Well, Ohsweken, you can hear you now. How about it for Brewster Baker? Dave Bailey picks up career win 22 at Ohsweken Speedway. Dave, let's talk about your run tonight. This puts you in a pretty good shot to tie the record next week on MAB TV, on national TV. 22 wins here. Seems like a lot more to us, but a great start to your season here at the Big O.
Yeah, it's an awesome night. Me and Ryan have been going back and forth, bothering each other about this record deal. So I'll probably win one, and then he'll win one, go back ahead again, whatever. That's just the way it is. But that's awesome. I just got to thank Quinston Chev, Mark at Jibs, Transport Sales and Service, Transaxle, and I got to give a special shout out to Sean Chenoweth. He bought me 2 tires last year because we were always getting beat by American racers, and finally I wasn't scared, and we put them on tonight, and that was the ticket.
Track looked pretty good tonight, Dave, for opening night. What's your thoughts on that?
It's slick, it's different, slow down, it's really wide, it's really racy, it's awesome. We learned to adapt. We always got spanked on this last year, so we did our homework, and hopefully, looks like these guys did good too, so who knows.
Good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
There he is. Dave Bailey gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to Logan Schwedick. Logan Schwedick finished second here tonight in 2019 to get your season underway. Logan, a great start to your year. Not too bad when you can finish second to one of the best in the business. Dave Bailey, talk about your race for us.
Yeah, it was pretty hard chasing Dave down. He's a real good runner, and he's a real smooth driver. So any mistake I try to correct on, but I make more than him. So it's a learning curve racing against these guys. Ryan ran real good as well. So we're just going to keep trying. It's a long season, so it'll be interesting.
All right, thanks a lot, Logan. Good job here tonight. We'll get over here and grab Ryan Beagle in just a moment as Dave Bailey gets his thing. Ryan, come on over here for us, Ryan. And we'll let Dave continue his photos and going on. Ryan, we talked about your season, and somehow on a night like tonight, it just seemed like this is the track that we expected you to be up here. You know, when it's chunky and tacky, you're not really the guy we're picking on paper, but tonight I think a lot of our regulars had you picked. This track seems to suit your style. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was weird tonight. 1 and 2 seemed a lot tackier than 3 and 4, but we held on for a podium. I can't complain opening night. So
great start to your season.
Yep. I just got to thank Doug Gamble. I know he's up in the stands. He helps us out a lot. Just got to thank him.
Congratulations. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 tonight. Dave Bailey, Logan Schwedick, and Ryan Beagle win opening night here in the Thunderstocks.
50-50 now up to $1,000. So a chance to still get in on that. 50-50 at $1,000 here tonight. Getting ready for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car feature event.
Pace truck looking mighty fine down there in turn number 4. Come on, Rick. Stand on it, my friend. Rob Neely was about to give him a push start. Here's how they're going to line up for your Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint Car feature event. On the pole out of Binbrook in the number 29, it's Liam Martin. Alongside him from London in the number 7, it's Caleb Wood. Out of Ancaster, he'll start 3rd in the 51. It's Trevor Young. Starting 4th from Port Colborne, the 5D is Jacob Dykstra. Car number 1A going to start 5th from Beamsville's Paul Klager, and on the outside of row number 3 from Hamilton, the 56 is Derek Lemaire. Starting 7th out of Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith, and starting 8th from Caledonia, the 88 is Jesse McDonald. Rounding out the top 10, the 49H is Jerry Hill out of Hagersville, and starting 10th from Oshweek in the 9C, Brian Nanicoke. In 11th from Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis, and on the outside of row 6 from Beachville, number 5 is DJ Christie. Starting 13th from Oshweek in the 69 is Josh Hill, and alongside him from Rockwood, the 74, Rob Neely. Starting 15th from Welland, the 3B is Blaine Barrow, and on the outside of him, starting 16th in the 08 out of Font Hill, it's Stephen Beckett. Starting 17th from St. Thomas, the 52 is Jesse Costa, and to his outside from St. Catharines, the 22 junior of Al Galetta Jr. Starting 19th from Salmon Arm, British Columbia, and the number 26 is John Verney, and to his outside from Oshweek, the 28 of Jordan Hill. Row 11 on the inside from Oshweek, the 38 is Derek Miller. Alongside him from Burford, the number 12 is Brad Herron. And the final row, starting on the inside of row 12 from Six Nations, Ontario, the number 20 is Johnny Miller, and rounding out the field, he'll start shotgun from Niagara Falls. The 70 is Bailey Hurd. 24 cars, I dare say the most difficult A-main to qualify for here at Oshweek Speedway this season, Greg. Those great sprints.
We've got a good mix as well as veteran drivers, sophomore drivers, and pure raw rookies in the field here tonight. So it's going to be a great first feature of the season for the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. Taking formation right now behind that beautiful Strickland GMC Pace truck.
One thing these rookies are going to learn is that everything moves quickly here during Friday night excitement. So if you're not ready to roll, you might wind up missing out on a race. And you learn very quick that you come close to doing that, Greg, or if you fail to miss one race, you remember that for the rest of your career and you never show up late again. 20 laps will be the distance. Wow, Jordan Hill in the 28. That car always has a flat wing. He runs that wing as flat as anybody on the racetrack tonight. He's got all sorts of pitch to it. That's going to get you more bite, more overall grip. You can move that wing forward and backwards in the car. That will kind of transfer where the grip goes, whether you grip the front end or the back end. But the pitch of those wings also dictates how the car is going to handle. Very angry music. Darren Shawcross rocking us into this crate sprint car main event. The Viking number 49H of Jerry Hill. We got a great look at that. The Enrium 83 of Spencer Davis. Lots of new looks. Some new drivers. Coldwell Banker, the sponsor on the 5D. Jennifer Hatch here tonight. And we're going to see the white flag from Kyle McKenzie next time out at turn number 4. Well, on the backstretch, Rick Scott in the Strickland's GMC Pace truck will peel off the back straightaway and leave the field in the hands of Liam Martin. If you get a chance to meet these drivers, one look at Liam Martin and you would wonder, how old is this kid? Very youthful looking. He is very youthful, but he drives these race cars ferociously. I remember when Caleb Wood used to be the young gun around the racetrack, but he's probably older than more than half the field out there. The field bunches up into turn number 3, waiting for Liam Martin to jump on the loud pedal. He approaches the chalk line. Now he'll stand on the throttle. We're under green in the Crate Sprint Car 20-lap feature event.
First feature of 2019 for these Crate Sprint cars here at Ohsweken Speedway, and wow, it is a hornet's nest all through the field, 3 and 4 wide.
Couple of cars come close to that backstretch wall in turn number 2. One car, Blaine Barrow, getting all sorts of sideways in turn 3, but he drove through it well, and he'll make some passes down the front straightaway, but out in front, Liam Martin with the advantage.
Down across the stripe, lap number 2, Liam Martin, your leader, over Caleb Wood and Jacob Dykstra. These 3 drivers out in front over Paul Kleiger, the wily veteran there in that 1A machine, and Trevor Young rounding at the top 5 in that 51.
Derek Miller in the 38 just had a moment out of turn number 4, and Jacob Dykstra almost tagged the wall coming off of turn 4. So turn number 4 is surprising some of these drivers here tonight, leaving less grip than they think they're going to have as they try to make their way off the corner.
Trouble on the high side for Josh Hill. He will take the 69 machine to the pit area as the leader will circle by him, the entrance of the pits.
Liam Martin out in front. Caleb Wood settling into that second position. Jacob Dykstra third. There's about 10 to 12 car lengths between each of the top 3. In fact, fourth as well, Paul Kleiger. And then from 5th on back, Derek Lemaire. The battles are much more closely contested. The back half of this field is still battling it out as the race leader, Liam Martin, closes in on lap traffic.
And there's 2 cars right in front of the leader, and Derek Miller and Alan Galetta. Here comes Liam Martin working to the outside now of Galetta as they work off of corner number 4. Liam Martin disposing of Derek Miller on the outside line, and there is quite a pack of cars right in front of the leader.
Liam Martin goes to the outside of Alan Galetta, but lost a little bit of bite there. Had to roll out of the throttle. He's back on the throttle down into 3 and 4, but look at Caleb Wood closing the gap on the race leader.
Caleb Wood looking for his first career Crate Sprint Car feature win as he works around Galetta as they come off of corner number 2. The leader, Liam Martin, right now about to hit a pair of Ohsweken Speedway cars in the 20 of Johnny Miller and the 12 of Brad Herron.
Did you see the line Caleb Wood ran that time through 3 and 4? I love it. He's running up high in 1 and 2, but he ran around the middle of the racetrack and got a really good run. Liam Martin up to the outside, Caleb Wood closer to the inside of the track. but he's able to take a nice arc, keep his foot in the throttle as we're halfway through this A-main event for the Crate Sprint Cars. What a show these drivers are putting on.
Liam Martin working it on the high side now in corner number 3, working to the outside of Johnny Miller, trying to put him a lap down. He'll split 2 cars off of corner 4 as he gets by Spencer Davis.
And I think that was important for Liam Martin to make that move. He didn't have time to check up and pass them one at a time. He needed to keep his foot on the throttle. That's exactly what he did. And he puts a couple of lap cars between himself and Caleb Wood in second. Now Wood going to try a similar move. Not able to thread that needle just yet. He gets around Spencer Davis. Now he'll work on Johnny Miller.
Liam Martin setting his sights on Brad Herron up next and Jordan Hill. They're running toward the bottom and out of the lane that Liam Martin is running at the moment. Caleb Wood still trying to get by Johnny Miller to reel in the leader.
I'll tell you what, Liam Martin hasn't pulled away a great deal from Johnny Miller since putting him a lap down, so Caleb Wood lost a little bit of ground there, but not as much as he might have as the laps are ticking away. 6 laps left in this Crate Sprint feature event.
Next up on the sights for Liam Martin is Jordan Hill in that 28 machine. Liam looks to the outside of he and Brad Herron and trying to get the run. Herron kind of steps up into his line, and here comes Caleb Wood. He's really closed the gap now.
Yeah, Caleb Wood closing in as Liam Martin has to tiptoe a little bit behind Hill in the 28 and Brad Herron in the 12. Now he's got to run to the outside. He'll climb the bank, and Caleb Wood closing in, but Liam Martin still out in front with 5 laps to go.
He'll get by Hill, now works on Brad Herron, but Herron's in the line that he wants to be in. He'll slide down a lane, trying to get by the number 12, the Renway Energy car number 12 of Brad Herron. Here comes Martin, working that outside line, is pinched off the wall though and can't keep the momentum up.
And Brad Herron's running a predictable line. Brad Herron's doing nothing wrong. All they ask you when you're being overtaken, they show you the blue flag. It doesn't really mean to move over. It just means hold a line, be predictable so the leader can make his move. And Caleb Wood just made an aggressive move to get around Hill and Herron with 2 laps to go.
Still about the same gap from first to second. Another lap car between the two. Liam Martin coming down. This time by, we'll see the white flag one more time around for the driver out of Binbrook. He has one career Crate Sprint Car feature win. It came 1 year ago, May 25th. Can he do it and mark the anniversary of his first win?
Liam Martin hard on the throttle through 3 and 4. He's got to be that way because Caleb Wood is closing. Martin with the win. Caleb Wood finishes second. Jacob Dykstra going to come home in third. Fourth is going to go to Paul Klager. Rounding out the top 5 will be Derek Lemaire. That was a fantastic Crate Sprint Car race. Green to checkered with numerous rookies in the field. That was a fun race to watch, Greg.
That's just it. You see all these rookies and everyone would guess, okay, we're going to see a lot of cautions in this feature. Green to checkered. Great job by all the drivers here tonight. And a fantastic run by Liam Martin. Gets his second career Crate Sprint Car feature win. His first 1 year ago tonight on May the 25th. So he marks his anniversary with a second win here in the Strickland GMC Crate Sprint Car Division. Send it down to victory lane. Clinton Jeffrey will get on the scene and talk to the top 3.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes out of the number 29. Won this race last year. He wins it again this year. Here he goes up to the top. How about it for young Liam Martin, ladies and gentlemen? Right here, North. So I'm going to go like this. Well, Liam, what a great run for you here tonight. You got to be pretty pleased. You know, you're so young, but still a veteran here already. Talk about what it meant to get out front and make those right moves in traffic here tonight.
for the first race, this is an amazing feeling, especially with my front wing the way it was. I'm glad I could wheel her into victory lane, and I'd like to thank all my sponsors, my team, my dad, my parents, everyone.
So you're going to leave here as the point leader. What does that mean for you this week?
Just next week, give her hard and see what we can do.
How old are you these days, Liam?
I'm 16.
How about, ladies and gentlemen, young 16-year-old Liam Martin gets it done here, and we'll look at his front wing. It is mangled up here, and he has taken a huge chunk of clump down there. Good job. We'll get over here and talk to Caleb Wood. Caleb, come on right here, buddy. Caleb, what a drive for you tonight. You got to be pleased with that. Second here tonight to young Liam. You were on his tail, but just couldn't quite get to him there in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, he ran a perfect race. We were just, I mean, as soon as he got away, if he made a mistake, I was catching up. But we had terrible luck last year, so this is a victory to me.
Yeah, not a bad night for you. You pick up ACKLAND's cash and the Top Gun Award, finished second. Solid night for you here tonight, Caleb.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I have to thank some sponsors. I've got BS&B Rad, Pinewood Horticulture, and my dad's been with me, obviously, forever, but he's been working on my race cars, and he's battling cancer right now, so we've got the cancer fighter on the front there, and yeah, everything's for him. Yeah.
We feel it, Caleb. Good job, buddy. We'll get over here and talk to our third place driver, Jacob Dykstra. Jacob, third here tonight. Certainly one of the guys who's going to be a contender in this division this year, but you got to be okay with finishing on the pad here tonight. Still a pretty decent start to your season.
It's pretty good. Third place is always good. Always being on the pad is great. I'd like a first, but they all ran a good race, and I tried my best.
Let's talk about the track tonight. Some guys are telling slick. It does have a couple of rough spots, but for the most part, pretty good.
1 and 2 was great, really rough. You hit it the right way, it was fast. 3 and 4, it was slick all the way around. You just had to pedal it around the middle, and hopefully you can get it there.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How about here for our top three tonight? Liam Martin, Caleb Wood, and Jacob Dykstra. Get it done here at the Crate Sprints.
I love the look on Jacob Dykstra's face. I mean, he said all the right things about finishing third, but you can see on his face that he's not here to finish third, Greg. He wants more than that, and I guess that's what makes someone a real good race car driver, is always wanting a little bit more.
I was going to say, that's the thing about Jacob, why he's been so good right out of the box. You can see the hunger in his eyes, just like his dad, who was so good, a former champion here in the 360 sprint car division, and finishing anything but first is just not what they came to do.
But a good run nonetheless. Top 3 finish. I mean, everyone should be commended in that Crate Sprint Car feature event. They've all got cars that'll roll onto the trailer after, wash them off, do a nut and bolt check, and they'll be ready for next Friday night.
Two features to go. Up next, the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. We'll go with their 15-lap feature event, followed by the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Sprint Cars. And again, don't forget, next week, carload night. $30 a carload, maximum 6 in each vehicle. And join us for our racing action next Friday night. Again, all 4 divisions in action. Plus, it'll be the first home race of the year for the Instapanels Duel on the Dirt for the Thunderstock division.
That's why she's been acting so crazy tonight. Brittany got old. Brittany Junkerry's birthday. What a better way to spend your birthday than right here at Ohsweken Speedway in the tower, where it's always a little bit crazy. You think it's hot over there, try coming over here. It's the oven on this side. We are ready to go mini stock racing in the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks, and race fans, here's how they're coming at you in the A feature. Starting on the pole, from Rockwood, the number 13 is Bobby Tolton, and on the outside of row number 1 with a nickname like Cheeseburger, you almost don't need a name. But Cheeseburger drives the number 15, his name is Sean Iftadi. Row number 2 on the inside from Ancaster, the number 19 is Kyle Wirt. Alongside him from Waterdown, the 01 is Tristan De Silva. Starting 5th out of Hagersville, the 23 is Dusty DeBoer, and starting 6th from Ohsweken, the 188 is Paul Longboat. Starting 7th from Waterford, number 46 of Wade Thorne, and alongside of him from Bellwood, the 22 is Kyle Haynes. Starting 9th from Dundas, the 21 is Jonathan Ayrton, and starting 10th from Smithville, the 6X is Mike Sarantakos. Rolling away 11th out of Hakersville, the 16J is Jeremy May, and starting 12th from Caledonia, the 365 is Kevin Thorne. 13th from Ancaster, the 16 is Fabio Oliveri. 14th from Thorold, the 96, Tyler LaFantasi. Starting 15th from Dundas, the 69 is Rob Twitchett, and 16th from Brantford, the 6 is Jason Dixon. Starting 17th from Simcoe, the 88 is Aiden Nye. 18th in the 60, it's Martin Schroeder. 19th in the number 4, it's Mark Thorne. 20th in the 1 is Jason Tolton. Nick Massey drives the 222. The 26 is Tim Newell. Car number 9, starting 23rd, is Tim DeBoer. And rounding out the field from New Hamburg, the 21H is Ryan Hiller.
Double greens in the air, and they all fan out down the front stretch. Troubles for Bobby Tolton in the Amsoil number 13. He'll pull down to the inside line and let the pack go by.
After the long offseason we had, that's got to be so disappointing for the driver of the 13, Bobby Tolton, as he drops to the back of the field. Something amiss on that race car.
Here comes Cheeseburger across the line, and he will lead lap number 1. Sean Iftati in the 15 machine. Out in front, Kyle Wirt and Dusty DeBoer door to door right behind him.
Great battles all through the field. 2 wide, 3 wide racing. This is what we are accustomed to seeing in the mini stock division.
Really is a momentum game here, and it's pack racing at its best, where sure, the draft might not be a thing here on this track, but you really need to keep the momentum up. And if you get blocked in behind or get a hole squeezed up that you can't fit through and have to lift, you lose a ton of track position. You've got to get it all wound back up.
You're absolutely right. It is all about the momentum. Kyle Wirt just got a little bit sideways in turn 4. DeBoer had to check up a little bit. It seemed to work out better for Wirt than it did for DeBoer, as Wirt is closing in on the race leader, Iftati. The top 3 with a bit of a gap over Wade Thorne, running in the 4th spot.
Bobby Tolton finally is going to have to take the number 13 to the pit area, so he is not able to get that car running to full song, and a horrible start to his 2019 season, much like he had 1 year ago.
Work down low on Iftati. We've got a battle for the lead. They're going to drag race down the front stretch. Quite polite at this point in the race, leaving plenty of room between the 2 cars as they duke it out.
Wirt on the bottom in the 19. Iftati on the outside in the 15. That's your battle for the lead. Dusty DeBoer in the 23 right behind them as they work across the stripe another time.
Good drive being had right now by Paul Longboat in that 188. He was a driver that came up from the Bomber division between 2017 and 2018 to race in the mini stocks. He had a little bit of speed, but Greg, he just didn't look that comfortable to me on the big track. Tonight he's having a good drive out there, battling with Jonathan Ayrton side by side. Nice job by Paul Longboat this far.
Battle for the second spot. Here comes Dusty DeBoer to the inside of Kyle Wirt. Door to door into corner number 3. Over to the cross flags. Sean Iftati will get it from Kyle McKenzie. 8 complete, 7 to go. And the battle is right now the second spot. That's the one we're watching.
Well, and the battle for second has allowed Sean Iftati to really open up, as we've got them jostling in turn 2. Tolton, Fabio Oliveri, Jason Dixon, Aiden Nye, all of them getting crossed up. Everybody able to carry on. Doesn't look like anybody lifted.
Dusty DeBoer has worked his way into second, and now the number 46 machine of Thorne has worked to the inside of Kyle Wirt, who is now finding himself drift away out of a podium finish here.
Yeah, Kyle Wirt, something not quite to his liking. He is dropping back, and that's allowed Kyle Haynes and Jonathan Ayrton to close in as well. So the battle for third is quickly becoming a 4-car battle. DeBoer driving away in that second spot, and now making a big move to the inside is Kyle Haynes.
Yeah, Haynes now gets by Wirt. He's working on the inside of Wade Thorne, something up there in the track. up in corner number 3, but they may feel that it's not something that will cut a tire. Now the yellow flag comes out. So that debris will get picked up in corner number 3 with your leader, Sean Iftati. Adam, I'm trying to figure out, Dusty DeBoer and Tim DeBoer every year come out with classic NASCAR paint schemes. Who do you think, Dusty? Obviously, Tim's this year is Alan Kowicki's Hooters ride. I'm thinking maybe Buddy Baker's Crisco machine.
I think it might be Hut Strickland.
No, that's what he ran last year.
Shoot.
Yeah, it was last year. He even had the array of Ray Bestos flags on the hood of the car last year. I was thinking maybe Rob Moroso, but he didn't have white on the roof.
It's the stripes on the car that are throwing me a little bit.
I'm gonna have to look up Buddy Baker.
Like the Crisco car?
He didn't run it for very long. No, it was white and blue. I'm way off on that one. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think you were on the mark.
How about Dale Jarrett's Nestle Crunch car? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Oh, a lot of nice paint schemes this year in the mini stock division.
It could be Rob Moroso.
Here's the one I was looking.
Oh, wow.
So I wasn't that far off.
What a memory. We're going to go green. Sean Iftati leads the way. Dusty DeBoer. This is his chance to mount a challenge as we'll have 9 laps to go.
Iftati continuing to lead the way. Picked up a feature win last year early on in the season. Looking stout here again. Last year it seemed like he was either running up front or he was in the B main and had a lot of work to do. And more often than not, he had the most work of the night. And there goes Kyle Wirt up in smoke in corner number 4. After such a good run to start this feature.
I'm thinking it's it's definitely the Rad out of the 19 because the car's still running. He will try to limp that back to the pits. It looks like he's going to be successful. Whoa, we're stacking up in turn 4. LaFantasi making contact with Tim DeBoer, Paul Longboat, Tristan De Silva all involved as we've got 2 laps to go.
Toddy continuing to hold down that good advantage with a white flag coming out. Picked up his first and only win last year here at Ohsweken Speedway.
His story is an interesting one and how he got involved in racing. Worked on a lot of pit crews, worked with a lot of race teams, now doing his own thing. Look at that gaggle racing for 6th on back. That is insane. Sean Iftati going to take the checkered flag cheeseburger to the win. DeBoer finishes 2nd, Thorne 3rd. Haynes 4th, Ayrton rounding out the top 5, and goodness gracious.
That's why we have transponders for the back portion of the pack.
And I still say great job by Paul Longboat in that 188. He should be proud of that run. That was a great race. Put it all together, a solid top 10 finish.
Sean Iftati will head down to victory lane. Picked up his first and only Ohsweken win back on June the 1st last year. So springtime winners of 2018 are finding their way back to victory lane here in 2019. We'll go down to victory lane with Clinton Jeffrey. Oh, and get those 50-50 tickets ready. It looks like we're ready to draw the winning number as well down here in victory lane.
Note from RJ Pitt says, way to go, Sean the Sheep. I don't want to know.
Well, Ohsweken fans, here he comes out of number 15. How about a big Oswego Speedway Victory Lane, welcome for Cheeseburger, Sean F. Toddy. Well, Cheeseburger, I saw you walking through the pits today eating a
cheeseburger.
Right on. Great job here, man. You were one of the kids who came out last year, kind of really got your feet wet here at Oswego, and now you've made yourself a home and picking up opening night wins. Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's wicked. Long winter, Baden Curtis helped me rebuild the car from the front to the back, interior, all of it. Couldn't do it without any of the help that I got. Savona's Postal Service, Well Engineered Canadians, Upfront Motorsports, Port Coburn Laundry, my parents, friends, everybody for the support.
How do you make it back-to-back wins next week on national television, MAV TV?
Do my normal, listen to Kenny Montgomery, dirt track thing on the way to the track, eat a cheeseburger, and let her rip.
How about it for Sean F. Toddy, ladies and gentlemen? Always a laugh down here. We get over here and talk to Dusty DeBoer. Dusty, great run for you. Pretty good start to your season as well when you can finish on the podium here.
Yeah, last season I started off with a second place finish and it turned out pretty well the rest of the year. I thought with the big bad Nissan starting in front of me, I wasn't going to get up that high, but they were struggling, and in the heat I was behind Sean the whole race and just barely got by him at the end. I was hoping he would slow down, but in the feature he just got faster and faster. But yeah, it's a good run. I'm happy with it.
Solid run for Dusty DeBoer. We get over here and talk to our third place finisher. Well, Mr. Thorne, good run for you. Talk about your drive. You look pretty good out there tonight. Third place. Anytime you can end up on the concrete is a good start to your night.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been on the concrete. We used to win here lots in the Bombers, but kind of been struggling with the minis as much. But we finally got a good piece put together. Mark Silva came out last year and helped me put a good motor in this thing. My dad helping me getting this car ready, and all our awesome sponsors, Brand Tractor, Buckwald Landscape, Ken Wallace Contracting. They really helped me put a good piece together, and we caught Dusty there with coming to 2 to go, and I lifted a little bit coming out of 4 and went to the outside and 1 and 2, but it's just too rough up there and couldn't hold the car down on the ground. So happy with third though.
Solid run there. How about a hand for your top 3 tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Cheeseburger, Sean F. Toddy, Dusty DeBoer, and Wade Thorne. Your top 3 here tonight in our first HRW Automotive Mini Stock Feature of the Year.
Clint, I've got a job for you if you're willing to accept it.
We got to get a 50-50 drawn first, Adam, but what's your job?
I want you to ask Dusty DeBoer what that car is a throwback to.
All right, first off, we're going to give away the amount of money, and it is $1,160. Lots of cheeseburgers could be bought for that.
43183.
43183 for $1,160. And I'll get over here and do that for Adam. Dusty, Adam wants to know what the throwback paint scheme is for this car.
This is a Dick Trickle 1988 ASA car. It was a Coors Light sponsored car, but I thought he'd enjoy saying Dick Trickle as many times as he could.
There you have it. Good enough for you, Adam. Dick Trickle.
Wow.
Well, in all fairness, he went off the board with an ASA car instead of NASCAR.
Well,
that
went,
threw me off.
He went to where the racing was fantastic.
You know who would have known that, though? Tommy Gooch.
Tommy Gooch?
Tommy Gooch would have known that.
I don't know if he would have, and I'm trying to remember that car. But I was a big ASA fan.
I don't remember. I'm going to have to look that up.
My biggest cheerleader is here in the booth with us. My lovely wife.
Ready to go with the first feature of the year for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. Your starting lineup looks like this, going from the pole out of Fenwick, Ontario, the Gibbons Contracting, Upper Canada Consultants, car number 14H, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Starting in second out of St. Catharines, the Fleet Contracting, Overland Heating and Cooling, number 80, the Real Deal, Chris Steele. Starting in third out of Scotland, the Sovereign Fusion, Original Traders Energy, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning, 47X, it's D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. Starting in fourth out of Mississauga in the ACKLAND Insurance, Ripshot, Town Line Variety, 17X, the Highlight Man, Mac DeMann. Starting in fifth out of Delhi in the Case IH O'Neill's Farm Equipment, number 1, it's Holly Porter. Starting in sixth out of Caister Center in the Burger Barn, Ace One Construction, Mobile One, number 13, it's Corey Turner. Going from seventh out of Alden, New York, the Casey's Truck Salvage, Fiberworks Composite, car number 49, the Straight Shooter, Scott Kruder. Going from 8th out of Caister Center, the Kingpin Farms, Aiken Motors Burger Barn, number 91, Ryan Turner. Starting in 9th out of Thetford, Ontario, the Coldwell Banker. 8 is the Expediting 5D. That is Shane Ross. And starting in 10th out of Beamsville, the Parts Source, J&E Recovery, Julie Swayze Remax 88H. It'll be Josh Hansen. Starting in the 11th spot out of Brantford, the Auto Refinishers Canada, Hills Tire and Gas, Brown Auto Service, Little Ben 110 is Jake Brown. And alongside him, starting in 12th out of Lewiston, New York, the G&J Contracting. Car number 81 is Derek Jonathan. Starting in 13th out of Brantford in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service, number 10, it's Downtown Mitch Brown. And starting alongside him in the 14th spot out of Caster Center in the Charlie B. Honey, Pious Spring and Alignment, V&R Recycling 11, it's Jamie Turner. Starting at 15th out of Scotland in the Total Rentals, ACKLAND Insurance, Tate's Automotive, car number 87X, that is Sean Evans. And going from the 16th position out of a Shriek in the Nitro 54 variety, ACKLAND Insurance 15, that is Hodge Dan Nanaco. Starting in the 17th spot out of Cheektowaga, New York, the Casey's Truck Salvage, Fiberworks Composites, car number 94, that'll be Todd Hoddick. And going from the 18th position out of Caledonia, the Burger Barn, Acewin Construction, Aiken Motors 55, Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. Starting in 19th out of Carlisle, the Nitro 54, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics, Ken's Car Wash, car number 9, that'll be Steve Lyons. And going from the 20th spot, the rookie driver aboard car number 46, it's Kevin Pauls. Going from the 21st position out of Port Colborne, the E-Shine Car Care, Cushion Sheet Metal 43 is Scott Shirk. And going from 22nd out of Grimsby in car number 90, that is Travis Cunningham. Starting in 23rd out of Waterdown in the Tammy 10 Media, Sterling Crane number 0C, that is Cole McDonald. And starting in 24th out of Charing Cross, ERW Contracting, FixYourRide.com, number 9B is Scott Burke. And going from the final starting spot out of Oshwegan in the Case IH Aero Express Oshwegan Speedway, car number 68, it'll be Aaron Turkey. 25 cars making the start in our first Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Sprint Car main event of 2019. Field tucks in behind the Strickland GMC Pace truck. Handful of these drivers have laps already competing down south of the border. And for some of these drivers, it's their first feature event of the year. Mother Nature has not played nice, and they have been itching to get out here on the track and see what they've got. Those watching home online are seeing the man to beat last year, Dylan Westbrook. Two-time champ Jim Hoopin in the 14H won his heat convincingly here tonight, starting from the pole. Chris Steele joins him on that front side, and Chris looked really good in his qualifying heat as well.
He did so, Greg.
Was not in the points chase last year, missed a race early on in the season, so Chris Steele was not able to compete for a championship, but boy, he has come out locked and loaded, ready to go. Lone Wolf Fireworks lighting up the sky. Look for them in Middleport, Highway 54, the official fireworks provider of Oshwegan Speedway, Lone Wolf Fireworks. Check them out online and on Facebook. Field will take shape. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you to rise to your feet, and we'll send these 25 drivers on Oshwegan Speedway style. Get on your feet and wave these drivers on. They've come to put a show on for you. Wave a hat, a program, whatever you have in your hand, and send them off. They are 4 wide and fancy for you, the fans. This is the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars. Kyle McKenzie with a white flag in hand. He's going to display it to the field, and next time by we'll be going green flag racing with the first feature of the year for the 360 Sprint Car Division. Strickland GMC Pace Truck will lead them around. Next time we'll be at full song. 2x2, 13 rows of beautifully prepared sprint cars ready to come to life. Jim Hoopinen, two-time champion. Chris Steele, he's a champion himself, on the front row. Kyle McKenzie with double green flags in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you came looking for a show. Well, here you go. Let's end all the anticipation as we bring to you our feature presentation. They rumble, bumble, stumble through corners 1 and 2, and Jim Hoopinen in the Red Rocket is out on top. Coming down to complete lap number 1, he'll be the leader with Dylan Westbrook in tow.
Hoopinen with a good opening lap. Dylan Westbrook with a big move off the start to jump into the second position. Chris Steele back to third. Then they're side by side for fourth and fifth. Holly Porter in the Ashwegan Speedway number 1 down low, and on the outside, Mac DeMann in the 17X.
Jim Hoopinen, 2-car lengths up on Dylan Westbrook. It's another 8 back to Chris Steele in that third spot. Mac DeMann running fourth. Holly Porter in that top 5. As we come down to complete lap number 3 for the Red Rocket, the lead has shrunk.
Looking through the field, Scott Kruger trying to make a move on Ryan Turner there. Kruger down to the inside, but Turner gets a better run off the corner. He'll maintain that spot. Out in front, it's Hoopinen having a great run.
He'll work to the inside of Scott Shirk, make that Kevin Pauls down in corner number 2. He'll bring Dylan Westbrook along for the ride. Here comes Westbrook. He'll swing it around the outside in corner number 3. Off of corner 4 they come. Hoopinen will lead the lap.
Jim Hoopinen is getting great drive off the corner. Dylan Westbrook is spectacular going in and through the middle, but Jim Hoopinen is really, whatever he's doing, whether it's his throttle control or trail braking, he is really coming off the turns with great traction.
Top 2 get by Cole McDonald. Now they'll work around Scott Shirk in corner number 1. Westbrook staying right in the tire tracks of Jim Hoopinen as they work down the backstretch. Into corner number 3 they go. Westbrook looks down low now. He'll bring it right down to the blocks off of corner number 4. And at the line, Dylan Westbrook will lead on lap 7.
And it was important for Westbrook to get down into the bike coming off the corner, and that's exactly what he did. They worked to the outside of the lap machine of Travis Cunningham in the 90, although he wasn't a lap machine until just now. And Dylan Westbrook going to try to get away. He's running that bottom groove again there in turn 4.
Westbrook works to the outside of Scott Burke as Jim Hoopinen now begins to lose ground to the leader, who has now got himself boxed in behind Mikey Bobby and the number 68, but shot right through the middle as he gets by Aaron Turkey into some clear sailing for a lap or 2.
With Dylan Westbrook getting out in front. Oh, he gets bouncing between 1 and 2. We've got a great battle for second. Jim Hoopinen loses the spot to Chris Steele. Right behind them, it's Mac DeMann. So 3 cars battling second, third, and fourth.
Mac DeMann started in the 4th spot, but he's setting his sights on 3rd right now. He'll look down low on Chris Steele. Oh, he really gave up a lot of racetrack there. It bounces the front end up in the air and back down as Jim Hoopinen will get back by him. Now here comes Mac DeMann sticking it around the outside of the 14H.
Wow. Close quarters racing out here in lap traffic. We've got Kevin Pauls 2 laps down, a bunch of drivers going 1 lap down, and lead lap cars just unwilling to lift off the throttle as they contend for second, third, fourth positions.
Lap 12 goes on the board. 8 remaining for D-Dub's Dylan Westbrook, who works it down the backstretch. He's got a straightaway advantage over second place. Chris Steele in the 80. Mac DeMann running 3rd. And then you've got Jim Hoopinen in 4th and Corey Turner completing the top 5.
Westbrook with a little bit of clear racetrack between himself and second place with a couple lap cars as well. But looking out the front of that 47X, he has got a lot to contend with here over the next few laps.
Westbrook working behind the lap cars of Dan Anakoke and the 94 of Todd Hoddick. He will now slow the pace as the caution flag comes out. Cole McDonald slow down here on the front stretch.
It's been a tough night for Cole McDonald in that 0C. He is off the pace. He's fought some gremlins all evening long.
Now, were there any lap cars between the leaders? Or will Chris Steele have a shot, a clear shot at leader Dylan Westbrook? 13 complete, 7 to go. And the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Sprint Car main event.
Man, oh man, things happen in a hurry in this division, Greg.
That they do. You got to be on your toes, and some dicey situations. Dylan Westbrook just continues to show no fear, cutting through lap cars, taking the middle line. And that's the thing, with no mirrors in this car, in these cars, you've got to go 100%. You don't know who is right there on your Nerf bar.
And that's what makes it so much fun. Let's take you through the running order. Cars on the lead lap. The leader, Dylan Westbrook in the 47X. Chris Steele runs second in the 80. Mac DeMann in the 17X is third. The 14H of Jim Hoopanen is fourth. The 13 is fifth. That's Corey Turner. 6th through 10th, the 1 of Holly Porter. 5D, Shane Ross. 49, Scott Kruder. 91, Ryan Turner. And the 10 of Mitch Brown. Also scored on the lead lap. The 110 of Jake Brown is 11th. The 87X of Sean Evans is 12th. 13th is Todd Hoddick in the 94. And 14th is the 15 of Dan Nanakoke. Because we go back to that last completed lap, Dan Nanakoke and Todd Hoddick are saved from going a lap down. And how about a tip of a hat to Sean Evans making his first run in that Hills Racing ACKLAND Insurance number 87X. Keeping that car on the lead lap on a night that is tricky, especially if you're not used to the horsepower coming out of one of these 360 sprint cars.
Probably the biggest news in the off-season was when Dylan Westbrook announced that he was leaving Glenn Stires Racing and moving to the Hills Racing team, and it was a shock. I was already working on things for Dylan for the Stires Racing team, and then all of a sudden, bang, I'm driving for the Hills now, and it caught everyone off guard, but not a huge surprise because I know he and Alex grew up racing together, good friends, and Alex Hill, that is, and a good fit for him.
And everything seems amicable, and of course, Steve Moulton is headed that way as well. So the crew chief driver combination is still intact.
Really gave Dylan the opportunity to race in the U.S., of course, the Hills Racing team with Alex Hill, Miles' daughter, racing in the 77X, and they have Sam Haferteep as well as part of their team, so some great experience for Dylan, who would like to accelerate his racing career and race more in the U.S., and he's already been able to do that, so a good fit for Dylan Westbrook with the Hills Racing team, and he will set the pace as we come back with 7 laps to go. Chris Steele and Mac DeMann have a clear shot right here at the leader.
Dylan Westbrook puts his foot to the floor, and you could hear the horsepower. Couldn't get it hooked up, but he still pulled away from second and third place.
He's got a good couple of car advantage as good racing mid-pack right now. That's where all the action is about around the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th positions. As cars are dodging and darting, looking for every spot they can get. Oh, contact, and 2 go up and over. I believe it's Mike Thorne, and Scott Kruder.
Cars got turned the wrong way, hit a rut. Both drivers are moving. Scott Kruder gently sets the steering wheel down.
As soon as we went back to green, that was the pack that I was kind of keeping my eye on and saw all that take place.
Look at Scott Kruder looking over this race car. You know, you almost think he's looking to see if they can make repairs in 2 minutes in the work area. Clearly, he has decided that's not going to happen. The helmet comes off. Clinton Jeffrey, you're on the scene.
Yeah, there's no way the Hoddick 49 is going anywhere. He's a little bit ginger getting out of the car here. Mike Thorne is the other car. We're waiting to see how he emerges out of the 55. We have also got the 15 of Nanakoke down here, who sits patiently in his car, who looks like he might have been slightly involved but doesn't have much damage. And Mike Thorne getting out of the 55 under his own power, and that is a great sign that both these drivers, after such a violent and nasty flip, are out. Let them know you appreciate that they are on their own power, ladies and gentlemen. And these cars totally destroyed down here. as you can imagine, with violent wrecks like that, all kinds of issues there. Mike Thorne out of the car on his own, and that's a good sign. Kruder out of his machine as well. And that's it for here, guys. We'll get you back rolling as soon as we can. Got 6 laps to go.
Now for Mike Thorne, I believe. Oh, we're going to have a look at the replay.
It doesn't give us a great look from the speed shot on the back straightaway. Man, Mike Thorne went for quite a couple tumbles there up into turn number 2. The car hadn't even landed, and Ryan Smith was waving the red. Clinton Jeffrey, you're with Scott Kruder.
Yeah, Scott, horrible wreck. I mean, you start the night as the Top Gun award winner and pick up an extra $100. You're going to need more than $100 to put this Haddock Racing 49 back together. What happened from your side of things?
I don't know, everybody just slowed up going in. There's a little water right around the rails. I don't know if the car in front of me got into that, slowed up a bunch and come up into me, caught him with the left front, and kind of come across the racetrack once I got hit, put me into whoever was on my outside, and from there was nothing you could do. You know, it's kind of a bummer. Car was coming on at the end there. I started going around the top pretty good, so I guess just one of them racing deals. I don't know, everybody checked up down there, and what are you going to do?
You feeling all right?
Yeah, it honestly wasn't, I mean, it sucks, but I feel bad for the car and all the work that these guys put into this. I'm fine. It's just a bummer.
Yeah, from Scott Kruder right here in turns 1 and 2, ladies and gentlemen. Tough break for him, and as you look to our right, we'll work on Mike Thorne over there checking out the damage to his machine as well, and that'll be it. Get over here and get a word with Mike. All right, that's the question we want to know. Obviously a horrible wreck here. Limping a little bit. Are you all right?
No, I'm fine. The cars are built pretty safe. Pretty lucky to have this good ride. I just want to say thanks to all the crew that helps out all winter. Not the way we want to start the season, but the cards were dealt. We'll be back next week and try again. Thanks to everybody coming out Friday nights, and thanks you guys for giving me a chance to race here.
No problem, Mike. Get back there, get rested up. There you have from Mike Thorne and Scott Kruder, both with major issues, but both of them walking away on their own.
You know, Clint, someone was telling me something interesting about Mike Thorne. I think it was at the banquet. What was the last night Mike Thorne did not race at Ohsweken Speedway? In a season where he was in the class he was racing, because he's run crate sprints, 360 sprints, thunder stocks, and mini stocks, I believe. But if I'm not mistaken, he's got a perfect attendance record that goes back a long, long way. Greg, would you know?
Let me text Tommy.
Tommy, where are you?
I do not know.
But what do you understand what I'm saying that makes it more interesting? You know, we have nights where the Thunderstocks don't compete. So if he was racing a Thunderstock, that wouldn't count. But his attendance record goes back a long, long time. Maybe someone on the Facebook feed can send him. Oh, Laura has already sent me a message. Laura Hughes says it's been 14 years, he's pretty sure. It's a pretty good stretch. Great supporter of Ohsweken Speedway, and when he says he'll be back next week, Greg, he'll be back next week.
Not sure if he was one of the cars intending to head to Brighton tomorrow night. Southern Ontario Sprints will try again tomorrow, as a week ago they tried to, for the second time, start their season. They got rained out at Merrittville, and then last week they were able to race at Brighton, but they had to cancel the sprint car portion of the show because there's just nowhere to park haulers. There's so much water down there at Brighton right now. But the plan is to run them tomorrow night. Last I checked, that was the plan for the Southern Ontario Sprints to race at Brighton. So if you want to see some sprint car action, head down to the track that the Rinaldis have made famous here in recent years, doing a great job down there.
I love that racetrack. You will always get a good show at Brighton Speedway. Unless I'm announcing that night, in which case you will get rain.
Are you there tomorrow night?
No.
Oh, that'll be good.
Are you announcing there this year, Greg? Outside of Applefest?
I'll be there for Applefest. That is
wow, look at you go, big league.
It's me and tomorrow, guys. I'll bring the rain for them.
Tommy Googe sending us well wishes. My ears are burning, Greg Callan and Adam Ross. Yeah, well, Tommy, my everything is burning because the temperature in here, thankfully they have launched a fan, but it was getting pretty warm and damp.
Tommy never once unbuttoned his shirt in the years that I worked with him here.
I think we have topless laws in Ontario that permit me, if I so choose, to take it off.
Well, guys, get a look at the Shane Ross 5D. The nose wing is totally mangled on that car as he goes into turn 1.
So we'll have a look at Shane when he comes back around. Oh, wow. Yeah, that front wing is crunched.
Having a good run right now in that 7th position. That team, I really feel like is going to be one to watch this year. Shane came close a number of times to getting his first 360 sprint car win, and now teamed with the Dykstra crew. Dave Dykstra has so many laps, a former champion in this division. The team's running so well in the crate sprints with Jacob Dykstra, and now with Shane Ross, who can really wheel one of these sprint cars. That's going to be a good combination, I think, here in 2019.
Did you see what happened on the last restart with Sean Evans and Dan Nanakoke?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see it, but I looked up and they were both lagging way behind the field, so there must have been a moment. I believe I know Sean Evans was one of the cars. I think Dan Nanakoke was the other. It's amazing the things that you don't catch. You just see the tail end of it and then try to figure out, okay, how did they get there?
Well, just like that previous red flag, I just happened to be watching that pack because I thought this is looking dicey, and I got to see what transpired. And good thing, because actually the only camera angle we had was the backstretch shot of it there.
And we're going to brag on our camera crew all season long, but Greg in turn 2, Dave on the roof. We've got a good team, the safety crew. Terry Watt, who looks after the push truck area and the warm-up track. Kyle McKenzie in the flag stand. I would put our team up against any crew out there.
Green flag back in the air. We've got 6 laps left to settle it. Dylan Westbrook holds down the lead. The fight's for second right now, it seems like, as Chris Steele and Mac Demand going at it.
And Sean Evans way out of shape in 1 and 2. That was not the line he wanted to take, as Dylan Westbrook starting to pull away once again down the front straightaway into 1 and 2.
Chris Steele is there following the leader. Dylan Westbrook trying to close the gap. We'll keep an eye at 7/10 of a second last time by. This time by it'll be over a second, 1.18.
Look at Ryan Turner in that 91. He is carrying all sorts of speed around here. I believe most of the cars he's racing with are a lap. Well, no, Holly Porter's on the lead lap, so that's a battle for position.
Dylan Westbrook's clear sailing right now for him. Coming down will be 2 laps left to go with Chris Steele. Mac DeBan running second, third, Jim Hoopin in fourth, and Corey Turner very quietly up there running in the top 5.
Turner to the inside of Steve Lyons. Lyons not on the lead lap to my knowledge, so he'll try to close in on Holly Porter as he gets the 2 lap to go signal, and Dylan Westbrook about to take the white flag out of turn 4.
He's already caught the tail of the field. He gets by Scott Shirk with 1 lap left to go. He's going to pick up where he left off 1 year ago. He's been the champion for the last couple of seasons, and he'll notch another win in the belt coming through 3 and off of corner 4. Dylan Westbrook will pick up the first win of 2019.
Finishing second going to be Chris Steele, Mac DeMan third, Jim Hoopin in fourth, Corey Turner rounding out the top 5, and Holly Porter gives that one car a good run, finishing 6th just ahead of Ryan Turner, Mitch Brown, Josh Hansen. and Todd Hoddick. Shane Ross around in turn number 4. Greg, I've got to say, that was a quality opening night. These cars were well prepared. Sorry to see a little bit of carnage, but you know what? All in all, it was a great show. And don't forget, folks, next Friday night, it is $30 car load night. Load the car up to 6 people. $30 is going to get you in to see history.
It will be live on MAV TV Canada. Make sure you're here, be a part of it. Bring a sign. Make a sign for your favorite driver. Show it off to the TV audience watching at home. Be here next Friday night, 7:30 start time. Career win number 23 here at Ohsweken Speedway for D-Dubs Dylan Westbrook. That moves him just 4 behind his former boss, Glenn Stiers, who leads the way with 27. We'll go down to Victory Lane and talk to the top 3. Clinton Jeffrey is down trackside.
Well, as you said, he picks up where he left off at the end of 2018. Dylan Westbrook up on the top wing, and will celebrate another trip to Ohsweken Speedway Victory Lane here tonight. Joined by Chris Steele in the 80 car and Mac DeMann in the 17. We'll wait for Dylan Westbrook to get the safety gear off. We'll get a word with him down here. Crew, his dad and uncle in also. Girlfriend Julie in here to say hello and congratulate him. Come on over here, Dylan. Dylan, solid way to start off your 2019 title defense. New team, new ride, but still the same result. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work going over the offseason, getting the new car ready with the new team and everything, and worked out really good. We got a really good team behind us with just everyone who helps out, and it really pays off. Like I could go anywhere on that track, even right through the slick, and we were still hooked up, so it was great.
You've been doing a lot of traveling preseason. I'm sure you're going to continue that through the summer. Are you going to be dedicated here to Friday nights, or what's the plan?
I think that's the plan, to try to be dedicated here for Friday nights, but still try to hit as many other races as we can. Like, we started out the season with the ASCS Tour, ended up in 5th right now in points, so real good start there, but just try to do as much racing as we can.
Congratulations. How about, ladies and gentlemen, for Dylan Westbrook, grabs the win here tonight. And we'll jump in here with Chris Steele. Steele, your car smoking like a chimney all night. Looks like maybe a little too much oil in. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think so. We'll have a look at it this week. We had some problems on the starts too. Dylan was just walking us, so we got to look back to that this week and hopefully come back next week and one spot better maybe.
Not a bad run here for Chris Steele getting done. We'll jump in and get Mac DeMann here over in just a second. Well, Mac, pretty good run for you on ACKLAND Insurance Night for your car owner tonight. Anytime you can end up on the concrete is a good start to your season. Let's talk about your night. Not too bad.
Not bad. We missed practice day. I had a previous commitment, so this was kind of shakedown. We found some brake problems, which we're still fighting with. Got some new headers, which kind of stumbled a bit on the restart, so we'll take the notes back to the shop, and tomorrow morning I'm sure we'll tear it all down and rebuild and come back better next week.
Congratulations, going to leave tonight in the top 3 points.
I'm happy with that, and good run for Steele, and congrats to Dylan. Hope to be up here a lot more.
All right, that is Mac DeMann, our 3rd place winner. How about a hand for our top 3 tonight? Dylan Westbrook gets it done. Chris Steele and Mac DeMann will join them, guys. We'll turn it back to you to finish us off. Don't forget, next week, MAV TV live coverage right here from Ohsweken and Carload night. Adam and Greg, thanks for a fantastic night.
Clint, great job tonight. It was a great show. Thanks to the fans for coming out. We hope you enjoyed yourselves and can't wait for next Friday. It's ready or not, here we come, Greg Calvin.
Victory Games is going to present next week's show, Friday Night Excitement. We'll also have the Duel on the Dirt Thunderstock home race number 1 brought to you by Instapanels, all part of our live broadcast on MAV TV Canada. The All North Racing powered by Pinty's show, our first ever broadcast next Friday night. Bring a carload and join us here in the stands. So that will wrap things up. want to thank all the staff and officials that make our race nights possible here at Ohsweken Speedway. And on behalf of the Steyers family and my co-announcers here tonight, Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, my name's Greg Kellman saying so long. We'll see you right back here next Friday night.